We've been doing this since April. Actually, January and February, if you count the big board. We had the regular season pass. We had week 15 pass, week 16 pass. We are finally here. Week 17, the finals. Davis and myself, Liam Murphy, have been here to escort you all season long on all things best ball. If you like NFL best ball, you're in the right place. Subscribe to our channels. We'll be with you for a long time. Davis, how did week 16 finish up for you? How are you feeling going into week 17?
I didn't get the team through that I really wanted to get through. My big dog team with 18 live players. Pretty crazy to have a team with 18 live players. And it's
That's
not like
what
the
a
team,
super team is to me, right? Like to some people, they're like, "Oh, my super team Saquon Chase." No, that's nice. That's two powerful players. But like a super team is a team where like if you pull up DraftKings and you pull up the salary, you're like, "Holy cow, I have two full salaries worth of starting
I
players."
have a full menu to pick from of players. But Jamar Chase kind of sucked. Burrow kind of sucked. Chase
Dude,
Brown
Chase
kind of
went
sucked.
97-1. What do you mean? He didn't. He scored like 19 half-point PPR points.
Yeah, he got beat. He got beat by Xavier Worthy. So his score did not matter.
I don't think he
Chase
did actually, but he scored similar to him.
Jefferson had 15 more points. So you just auto lost to Jefferson teams.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to be looking a lot at ownership and everything. For anyone out there, I want to say first of all that their week 17 dreams have ended. Maybe in a puppy, maybe in a Pomeranian, maybe in Best Ball Mania, whatever you played. Don't feel bad, right? This is something that I shared yesterday. There were 6 users who had 10 or more semifinal teams. Can you imagine that feeling when you were like, holy cow, week 15, you got 10 or more? So that between those 6 users, they had 69 teams. Guess how many teams they had reaching the finals before last night? I didn't post the Josh Jacobs game. Maybe they got a couple more, but guess how many?
I assume you're saying 0 because
One out of 69. So there was one among those 6 users, only one of them was getting a team to the finals, right? Like that's how insane this game is. Guys who were regular season smashes are no longer chalk in the final.
even Barkley's points were nice, but they were not a pod winner.
They were replaceable. Like,
yeah,
you could get away with Jerome Ford. And this is why you and I preach wide receiver superpower, because it is just incredibly rare for Quentin Johnston to differentiate you.
He just guys like that. They can do great for you in the regular season, but your Darnell Mooney's, your Quentin Johnstons, your even Lad McConkey's, these guys, they just cannot get really the raw points needed to
they need to score 2 touchdowns to do
they need
that.
to score twice.
And have over 100 yards, right? And so it's like, who did we see actually differentiate yourself? Well, Chuba did it. Jonathan Taylor did it, but Jonathan Taylor was 2% owned. So he wasn't in every pod by any means. Right. And then at wide receiver, Chase scored really nice. Brian Thomas Jr., Justin Jefferson definitely helped. He is now one of the chalkier guys. Goff is one of the highest owned guys too, because just 2 good weeks in a row will do it. And yeah, you're gonna have a guy like Saquon who will be moderately owned. James Conner, by the way, currently the highest owned player in the Best Ball Mania finals. He is, I mean, like, I would assume he's doubtful. What's your guess there?
Well, one of the teams I got through has him, so I think I would probably prefer him to play. But the Rap Sheet
I'm hoping he rests. To take a week off, big dog. Take a week off.
Rap Sheet tweeted it's close, and Jonathan Gannon said he wants to play, but it's like going to be touch and go. So I think that can really go anyway.
They got nothing to play for other than spoiling the Rams' playoff chances, which maybe matters. And, like guys like Trey McBride are going to be mega leveraged just off of James Conner chalk. Marvin Harrison Jr., if anyone's got that. We're going to be looking at ownership teams, and dude, CMC, there are more CMC teams than Brees Hall teams. There are the same amount of CMC teams as Garrett Wilson teams. And another example of how chaotic this game is, taking Garrett Wilson or Brees Hall essentially tanked your chance to get to the finals no matter how good of a team you built, right? And why is CMC being represented somewhat well? Well, it's correlation with Jared Goff, Jameson Williams, Lions 49ers stacks who play next week, right? So it doesn't matter they didn't score anything. So wild game. I officially punched 2 tickets to the Best Ball Mania 5 finals. Insane.
That's so sick, man. That is so fucking sick. People are big mad. They're like, Chess Liam, dude. He's a donkey, ran hot once, and once again represented in the finals.
They can say whatever they want. If I can sun run this bad boy again, I got some really good teams. I'm hoping Christian Watson just got subbed out because they were up so much.
No, sounds like he's actually hurt. I'm sorry, but it does sound like he's actually hurt.
Minor bummer there, because I do think he would have been low ownership, nice matchup against the Vikings as far as like giving up the deep ball. So yeah, but still have some really sick teams, some really sick leverage. Davis, how did it finish up? You got some teams to the finals. I saw you tweet out. Tell us about it.
I got 2 of the puppies. One of them is the 100K to first. The other one is the 50K to first. I looked at the teams this morning to see what they were. They're fine. And then a mini schnauzer, which if I won, I think I'd still be in the red.
That's what, on the year. I don't play contests like that just because like I don't want that. Like I don't know. Like the way I think about it is like I don't want to use my quote unquote like luck on this contest where I might end like obviously you're happy to win that contest, like because you're less in the red if that's true, but it does feel bad if you're like, wow, I won this contest and didn't profit. What is first in that one?
Let me look. The mini schnauzer I think is $10,000 to first, but like dude, I think 4 weeks ago, if you would have told me I think if you would have told me you even have one team live, that you're not sitting in the fucking cuck chair watching everyone run good but you, I 100% million% would have taken it. So that is fine with me. The big, honestly, this is really the thing I'm most disappointed about. I had to have been one of the absolute like highest EV drafters in the big board. Like the guys that I had over 50% of were all smashes. Like I had 70% Chase Brown. I had 80% Jalen McMillan. I had Jalen McMillan on every team I advanced, and he smashed in week 15 and in week 16. But my high end guys on all my big board teams that were in the semifinals didn't get through. But like I don't know what it is about me. I really want to win the big board. I love that contest.
I mean, first off, big board's 200K to first. Like
right.
I only did 48 teams in the big board because like I knew the main season was coming and I didn't want to like have any burnout, and like maybe that served me well, right? Where it's like both my teams I got there were from May. And, like if people remember back then that were in the best ball, there was a lot of talk from a lot of people about how foolish it was to draft early in the year this year after how successful drafting late was. And so I'm really happy that like, I wrote about like, no, you can still win drafting early. Like it is it's going to work some years. It's going to not others. But I do think across the board, early drafting was stronger this year, right? Because what were the wins you got for drafting late? You got Jordan Mason, and then you got pretty unlucky and he's out, right? And why was it a win to draft early? It's just the ADP values
Well,
you could get.
you avoided Rashi Rice. That was a big one.
Well, you
Well,
got him cheaper, and you got him cheaper if you did.
yeah. So if you were someone who kind of thinks like you, where you're like, oh, I don't really I don't want to be buying the top of this guy. A win that I thought at the time, I thought that Samaj P. Ryan on the Chiefs was a big win. I really thought there was a chance that
Late
he
in
would
the season. Yeah, like
in
we're
that.
wrong about some of this stuff,
Right,
right?
exactly. Yeah. I think on DraftKings, I ended up taking Samaj P. Ryan in like my final 50 drafts. I just took
Yeah,
him.
I
I
was
just
doing
took
the
him.
same thing with Carson Steele, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I just took him every time.
and the other wins were like Chuba Hubbard was, significantly cheaper. You could get like one of my wide receiver rooms is like Chase, Nico, Mike Evans, Brian Thomas Jr., Terry McLaurin, and like also Brock Bowers, right? Like also an expensive running back. Like I don't think you could get that all year long. Um, it is pretty nice that my team, my advancing teams at least weren't drafted the day the contest dropped. Because I think some people would feel a type of way like, oh, the day the contest dropped ADP, whatever. It's kind of nice. You could just draft like May 24th, May 15th, right? You don't need to hit 50 bullets the day the contest drops. Although that could have worked, right? And then, yeah, like you
Could have.
also like in a twist of fate, like Isaac Garendo, who he was drafted really only early. And so it's just a reminder that like people try to fit what happened the year prior, like perfectly, not taking into account like how chaotic all this stuff is. And it's like, of course we weren't going to get Kyron Williams for drafting in August again. Like that is lightning doesn't strike twice like that. We weren't going to get Tank Dell. We weren't going to get Puka Nakua, man, the wide receiver 6 last year in the 18th round at a near 100% draft rate, right? Like that, those were absurd hits for drafting late.
Right.
And I think better people were drafting late this year, in general as well.
What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
What I mean is my DraftKings Millie Maker lobbies were almost all logos of companies, versus the guy who, as someone that did most of my DraftKings action, like the last couple weeks, it was like a stochastic logo, whatever, right? Like it wasn't all dudes who were like, where's Zeke Elliott in the second round? You know what I mean? Those people still exist, but there's also a lot of people who are trying to get down their last action and are purposely saving their bullets for.
I save
late.
DraftKings for last, just as
I don't care about as much. Same.
I don't care about it as much, and timing, like because I don't stream any DraftKings stuff. I just prefer to do that later. And so actually what I do with DraftKings is I enter one slow a day when it opens, so I just like, okay, I enter a slow, I make my pick, I enter a slow the next day, I enter a slow, and then I just see where I'm at in August or whatever.
I certainly wish I drafted more on DraftKings early, because I'm like Brian Thomas Jr. dude had like an ADP of like 100, like there was just no respect for him.
Xavier Worthy was after pick 100 on DraftKings for a while.
Yeah, but that stuff changes quick, right? Like that stuff is, like a time constraint.
Yeah. Liam, I gotta refresh my window real quick. I'm trying to connect these fucking off-brand AirPods. 1 second.
Okay. So we're gonna look. We're gonna look through. Davis is back here. We're gonna look through, courtesy of Patrick of BBMDB. We have some data here. So this is we're going to use this as a proxy for every best ball contest. Of course, it's not going to be exact, but there's 539 teams in the Best Ball Mania finals. So we're going to use this as a proxy for like the contest Davis reached in and every other one. because it's the best we have. But these are the teams out of 539 that, sorry guys, that reached the finals. So Amon-Ra St. Brown, the highest dome. Justin Jefferson, the second highest dome. Jamar Chase off of 2 moderate scores, the third highest dome. Somewhat shockingly, CeeDee Lamb coming in top 4. And then the best leverage piece to me is Puka Nacua. AJ Brown also would feel quite nice, and Bijan Robinson at 25 teams. And then Gibbs,
Dude, I think
like
if you got Bijan in, I think it's the one where you're like, he's got giga mega ceiling. He's getting every touch. He's a running back. So in general, the teams that make it in are going to be weaker at running back. Like they're just going to be a lot. Dude, if Connor misses and you have Bijan, you are like, holy shit. You know, you're feeling very good.
I got a Puka team in. I feel great about it. It's just a very clear, win equity sweat where it's like Puka, dude, score 40. He has like a 38% target share. It's the Cardinals. They need to win, right? Like the same thing about the Bengals. They need to win to keep their playoff chances alive. The Rams need to win to stay in the playoff hunt. Weirdly, the Saquon Barkley before, I don't know if you saw Josh Norris tweet this out, but like Saquon Barkley before Jalen Hurts exited was like, plus 100% efficiency on his rushing yards over expected. And then after that, he was like, once Kenny Pickett was at the helm, he was like minus 15% or something.
Isn't that what you'd expect? You just
Well,
expect the offense with Kenny Pickett to be way worse.
I mean, really, when you don't have to defend Hurts running and Saquon running, it's just teams can just engage 8 you and not worry about it. And it is a reminder, yeah, that like a lot of these running backs we've seen have success this year are tied to mobile running quarterbacks. Hurts and Saquon, Josh Allen and James Cook. James Cook has the most touchdowns in the league at running back.
James Cook, Liam, I'm sorry, he's literally going to be the worst pick in Best Ball Mania next year. Like,
we'll see what the Bills do, but like if it's just him and Ray Davis, he could totally he's always going to be an efficiency back, which is almost nice for Best Ball because it's like
it's nice for Best Ball with his price this year. It's not going to be nice for his price next
year. It will be if he drops 40 in a playoff week, like he has that ceiling, and but like so him. And then also, obviously, Derrick Henry with Lamar. And remember, like Saquon was super inefficient last year.
Yeah.
Efficiency, revival here. And really that's tied to Jalen Hurts, which if the Eagles needed to win, I would say that Hurts would return. But they're like pretty much locked in on their playoff seeding. Thanks, guys, for the super chats. We'll get to looking at any teams later, but we're gonna talk through this. But yeah, like so Hurts, I don't know, like he got concussed really early in that game, so I kind of feel like he could return.
Tried to stay in. That was very funny.
Zach Ertz cleared concussion protocol, killing the Sanat.
The thing about I think we very much learned this year, Liam. These dudes are just built different. They just want to play. It doesn't matter. Any of that stuff. I think technically, actually, the Eagles can still lose the division. I think
to the Commanders.
Let me double check that.
Yeah, it was a huge.
Oh yeah. They can still lose the division,
but their schedule is Cowboys and like Giants. I think.
Yeah, dude. If Pickett plays though,
I don't care, dude. The Giants and the Cowboys, like.
If the Cowboys would be if Pickett is the starter this week, what do you think the line is?
Is it at Eagles Stadium?
I'm pulling it up right now. It's Eagles 9.5 right now. If we get Pickett confirmed, I bet it's 6. I bet it's 6 instead of 9.
Still, that's a really strong
6-point favorites lose all the time.
I mean, yes, you could lose, but like a 6-point favorite is a significant favorite in the NFL.
Point being, Hurts is going to want to play this week. There is going to be no resting of Jalen Hurts unless he actually can't pass concussion protocol.
That Commanders-Eagles game was ideal for me in multiple ways. Number one, it made the Eagles' chance to get the 1 seed over pretty much, which is really nice to not have a bunch of dead Eagles playoff best ball stacks as someone that's been into them. And then Jaden Daniels throwing touchdowns to like Jamison Crowder and Co. Like I needed that. I needed him.
I could not believe the Jamison. I was like, this has got to be trolling. There's got to be trolling that Jamison Crowder is involved right now.
He was like on the Bills. He was on the Jets. He was, he's like, where's Todd Gurley, man? Why'd they stop at Crowder and Ertz? Like
Crowder was he was a Bill last year, wasn't he?
He was a Bill 2 years ago, I think.
Unbelievable stuff.
Insane.
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill, man, I don't even think you're excited about it. Like,
you're definitely not excited about it.
CeeDee Lamb, I don't know how injured he is. Like, you think he's 100%?
Yeah, he just keeps playing, man.
Okay, yeah, he
seemed playing well.
Amon-Ra didn't advance you, but why he's so represented is he scored a huge score week 15, and then Goff scored really well again, and other Lions pieces. So he scored fine enough. He scored a touchdown, right? And then Justin Jefferson, he just had a huge week this week, and Josh Jacobs had a big week.
And in week 15, he smashed.
Yeah. What did he score week 15? 30?
Like 35.
Yeah. And now we're going to get the Jair Alexander return shutdown.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Liam.
Let's get that back, baby.
Yeah, dude, totally.
The year I won the 555, Jefferson was like 80% owned in the finals.
But they were eliminated, remember? They were eliminated. He got
blanked that game though.
Well, right? They were eliminated.
Well, it was a big his, it was just like he was mega chalk and bust. Gibbs would definitely feel really nice.
Gibbs would be your choice, right? If you could choose one, you choose Gibbs.
I think it's Puka, man, at 10 teams. Like I have a Puka team, but like like I've said for a long time, Puka against the Rams, no one's got it.
Puka against the Cardinals.
Gibbs and Bijan also really nice, and AJ Brown, like really all of it. And like, dude, Jamar Chase, how about the best player in football this year at somewhat moderate ownership?
Dude, Burrow on that offside play, just being like, you know what? I'm getting my guy the points. I don't give you very many things. I don't credit you very often. I will absolutely credit you with this. There's probably no other quarterback who likes getting his receiver stats more than Joe Burrow. He likes getting Jamar. I can't think of in the NFL any of the other 32 teams in that spot. I can't think of another quarterback who on a free play like that would have given his guy a chance to make that play. I really think it's the only team in the whole NFL.
How about Achane, man? They had Achane running it up a little bit.
Well, he just chose not to kneel. I mean, he got through the line and just chose not to kneel, which is fine. They weren't shipping passes down the field.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, but hey, like they get the Broncos. I got both Chase and Chase Brown, so hoping that one of the best picks produces there.
I can't fucking believe this cost me probably 3 teams. Burrow on that 3rd and 1, not just handing it off again and stumbling on the 3rd and 1 from the 1 yard line.
Me getting the Puka team through was an absolute whirlwind where it's
that's such a smash.
But it was a whirlwind where the guy, first off, we're going to get to the tight ends, but Sam Laporta now, after being a terrible pick all year, is like chalk in the finals. And him getting this like fake stumble touchdown, like I was like, oh man, I'm dead. Right. And it was like, and then it's like, I needed the overtime with Chuba. It's all insane. And, none of that shit matters. Now it's how do you perform week 17? That is when all the money is won in best ball, right? So,
yeah.
Right? Like people trying to dunk on you and you got 20 teams, 15 teams. Look at me. I'm a genius. You know,
Well,
I
I mean, look, other than and Chase didn't have any good games in the playoffs, but the high
Jamar
advance
Chase
rate,
scored 2 touchdowns in the playoffs. He hit your lineup twice.
not
Or
mine.
no, he didn't score a touchdown the week before. I think he went like 9 for
My
90.
my Chase teams did not use his score this week or last week, but it's because of JSN and Worthy, I think. But the point being, the high advance rate pieces, if you drafted a bunch of the same teams with the high advance rate pieces, you basically underperformed expectation by a ton because those guys sucked. They were like effectively like, I guess Barkley didn't suck,
No,
but he got
Saquon was a good.
who?
Saquon was good. And Derrick Henry, like, yeah, I mean, people were trying to victory lap Derrick Henry. He should have had a better game than he did, but you know, he did the same thing as Gus Edwards.
How did he
The
how did
same
he
thing as
even
Jerome
what did he
Ford.
even get?
160 rushing yards or something like that.
That
And a
is that's like Samaj P. Ryan could match that this week, you know?
yeah, I mean, no, like he hit lineups if you had the wide receiver superpower, but if you didn't also have Brian Thomas, Terry McLaurin, like see you later, you know? You got to get the wide receiver. Quarterbacks here, I added a couple others such as Goff and Mayfield. So Josh Allen goes from probably mega chalk the last round to pretty low owned after a bad week. We got 5 Richardson, 5 Stroud, 9 Mahomes, Lamar well represented, Baker Mayfield somewhat moderately owned for getting the Panthers week 17. Goff is your chalk guy at 210, not something you really want. I have Jaden Daniels on both my teams. What's nice is
I think I've got him on most of mine. I don't remember.
What's nice is he plays the Atlanta, who's got like just a terrible pass rush and everything.
Well, what's nice is they both that is a great game because they both really have to win and really want to win.
They both need to win, and there's a lot there's teams playing tomorrow. There's a lot of teams playing without rest, which historically correlates with a little bit lower scoring and sloppier football. They get to play on Monday night, and it's also nice where it's like, yeah, you feel somewhat, like even having like a Jaden Daniels, Luke McCaffrey stack who like was killing it as a kick returner. You're like, hey, you never know. Maybe Luke McCaffrey can win this thing for me. I think Jordan Love would feel nice. Joe Burrow, pretty moderately owned.
I disagree. The Packers are so conservative. I don't really think that is one of the things I really got wrong this year. Is I thought there was going to be a strong chance that they would be aggressive throwing the ball. This could be like Jordan Love MVP. That is not how they view football. They are, Liam, they are 6 straight weeks with fewer than 30 dropbacks. That is insane.
What I'll say there is, and it's hard to even remember this, but remember Jordan Love got hurt in the Eagles game to start the year?
Yeah, of course.
I think there's reports recently where he's just starting to get healthy. Like he's played through that. And like, I don't think we actually got to see, like, I do believe that running is a core tenet of the Packers, as it is of every good football team this year, right? Like the Bills run, the Ravens run. Name a good football team that doesn't run. The Chiefs run.
They should.
The Eagles run.
I've been meaning to work this through with you. I've actually been waiting for this all day, all week. That game against the Texans was the first time that I was like, oh, actually, the Chiefs are just going to win the Super Bowl again. That was the first time the whole year.
Because you saw your guy Hollywood out there?
I mean, dude, it's undeniable. They look like a totally different team. They just looked like, oh, we need a first down. All right, we'll just go get the first down.
What did they score? Like 20-something points? 30 points?
They could have scored on the final drive, but they just didn't. But it is that is currently the funniest stat.
That game is the game where it's like every single fan that's not a Chiefs fan is like, really? We're giving them every single ticky-tack call?
Every call.
Like every
Tank Dell dislocates his kneecap.
That killer for Tank Dell. First of all, I think, like post-bye, him getting healthy, I think he would have been a really good guy for the playoffs. Killer for their real playoff chances. I'm a believer in the Texans. They have Deontay Johnson, so that keeps some hope afloat. I didn't understand why they had a waiver priority over the Chargers. I guess they must have, I don't know, just barely had waiver. They both put in a claim for him, which makes sense. And I think it's kind of stupid by the Ravens to cut Deontay. even if they had no intention of playing him. Because why would you allow the Texans or Chargers to sign him, who could beat you in the playoffs? Like, just cut him post playoffs.
I think they probably just think he stinks. I think they're just like, this guy
they
just
think he's gonna Trojan horse him.
They're like, yeah, dude, sure, go be a Texan. Have fun, Texans. I mean, look, we are now on like year 5 of fantasy football nerds thinking Deontay Johnson's really good. Well, Deontay Johnson scores no touchdowns and is not respected and gets paid no money. Like
I've
Deontay
always
Johnson,
been a hater.
I've been at Deontay Johnson is the thing about being a PPR scam is we like PPR scams when they're cheap. Deontay Johnson is a PPR scam that is always expensive. It's like
Expensive
the worst.
Wan'Dale Robinson doesn't
Yes,
feel
like
good.
Rondale Robinson in the 14th round. I mean, it's not great for half PPR scoring, but it's fine. Deontay Johnson, 6th round. I mean, dude, and I have no room to talk because I drafted pretty bad this year, but Jesus fucking Christ, man. Terrible.
He's got better PR than Wan'Dale for sure. He makes like a couple cool sideline catches a year where
Dude,
you're like,
imagine Wan'Dale on the Chargers. Wan'Dale on the Chargers would smash.
His name's Lad McConkey. Why I think Love would feel pretty good is Vikings, pretty good run defense. Kyler's super low owned. Purdy, pretty low owned.
Would you really Kyler? Shout out to not having Kyler. You'd be like, fuck Kyler. I'm dead.
There's a somewhat similar team to me who has Kyler instead. So yeah, hoping that like the Cardinals are just like, you know what we need to do? Let's actually get Trey McBride 3 touchdowns. Our season's over. We don't need to win anymore.
They're just not good enough. That's the thing about they just outright lost to the Panthers. They are just not good enough to be the type of team that's like, all right, we're getting Trey McBride a touchdown.
Kyler tweeted it, so flop lag on that is my hope. I mean, is Nico Collins, like, how are you feeling? Is Nico Collins going to be like the smash of smashes against the Ravens, or is he going to be hurt by no Tank Dell?
I think it's like totally. My opinion is that the Texan season is just going to end with a whimper. That like they're now like John Mechie and Robert Woods have to play every down. You know,
well, Mechie was hurt, so I think he's going to play. But
I think he's going to play. Yeah,
they need him to. You cannot build the house out of Dalton Schultz checkdowns. That is brutal to watch. I'm hoping one of my teams got Nico, so I'm hoping he is a smash. Tight ends here. Brock Bowers is the highest owned, but still pretty moderately owned.
By the way, do you feel bad about betting me Dalton Kincaid touchdowns versus Brock Bowers? Do you want to?
Here's my Kincaid. I think would have had a much better season if he didn't get hurt. Right, like he missed 4 games, and then he's missed some big plays. I'll be like, if the market's gonna hate on Kincaid, like I'm not gonna put a lot of energy into being like he should be a high draft pick. I'll be drafting a lot of cheap Kincaid. Like,
so Liam, I actually am totally with you. Like if Kincaid is like a round 11 pick or whatever, I'll actually probably be back in the same way I'm gonna buy on Kyle Pitts next year. But
Pitts, Pitts, I have like legit concerns about his talent level. As far as like what he can do,
he lost it. He hurt his knee and never got it back, and now
that's what I'm saying. Like, and I don't know if that's returning. Kincaid, it's just like first off, 3rd-year player, very common for tight ends to take a little bit, right? Second off, had a lot of injuries, right? And it's like Josh Allen is just so good. He's like building the house out of like Ty Johnson here, Ray Davis here, James Cook here. Maybe the defense gets worse, right? Like you can get maybe some Laporta numbers. Like Kincaid could easily have a 10 touchdown season. I'm hoping he's cheap, like a mid-round.
I agree with you conceptually. Like, if he's a round 11 pick, but you just look at the tight ends available. Like, okay, we're gonna have Tyler Warren and maybe Colston Loveland next year, but like Kelsey dead. Andrews is gonna be 30.
Kelsey's so dead, right? Like you're not even happy about that.
Yeah. Kittle will be 31. Evan Ingram dead. Ferguson, I think we all realize he's just a guy. David Njoku, we won't know.
On one of my teams. Let's get that 30 burger, Ferg. Let's get that 30 burger again.
So basically, I think Kincaid is just going to get pushed up based on how shitty the position is. Like it's all.
Here's what I think's gonna happen. I think like there's gonna be Bowers at the 1-2 turn. There's gonna be McBride randomly layered in there.
Man, how fucking bad of a pick.
And then
Bowers at the 1-2 turn.
And then there's going to be like, whoever, maybe Andrews, maybe some of the rookies. And then the market is going to say all of the other tight ends go around like 7 to 10. Like they're going to make sure the running backs. So like for this year, they're going to make sure the Josh Jacobs, the James Cooks, the Kenneth Walkers, all of these types of guys, the Calvin Kamaras go ahead of the tight ends. And then they're just going to lump the tight ends in there and be like, okay, take whoever you want. So it'll be like the same ADP on all these guys. Njoku, Goddard, maybe some of maybe Kincaid will have some random negative bias and PR against him. Definitely depend.
Well,
if the Bills land like a superstar free agent as well, or draft pick, that could change things. But then it's like, dude, I actually think Pitts like maybe should be a 12th round pick or worse, right?
He's gonna be very, very cheap, and
I'll be in on Kittle again. I'll be in on Kittle for sure. Just 1 year older,
yeah, probably not for me.
And then Njoku, people will be jazzed about.
It'll just depend what their quarterback situation is. Is Jameis on the team? Did they draft a rookie? Is it DTR? Like who's the quarterback?
It doesn't matter because he's like if it's a good quarterback, we like it. If it's a check down artist, we also like it. Like people are going to be into Njoku's
But you need
talent.
They need Flacco back. They need Flacco. They need Andy Dalton. They need something like that. You can't
having
Jameis
inactive this past week was absurd. By the way, like
it just cannot be DTR.
Except for Jerome Ford to bags. And then like Goddard, Kincaid. I don't know how the market will feel about Andrews. Like he had a bad start. Now he's healthy.
He's going to be 30 years old.
I think he'll be more expensive than he'll be like around after McBride or something. And then Evan Ingram, first off, tough blow for these guys, out for the year. Same with Goddard, out for the regular season at least.
Evan Ingram will be for established the run subscribers only. They will have a lot of Evan Ingram.
Well, it will go like some order of like Njoku, Hawk, Ingram. Ferguson will be like 3 rounds cheaper than what he was. And then like if Jonnu's on the Dolphins, man, like he should be probably like after McBride by like a round or two, and it's gonna feel gross. It's gonna be like, really, are we doing this?
That'll be a guy I will have, I think, legit 0 of.
I don't know how
there is no worse bet in fantasy than the 30-year-old year 9 breakout the next year. That it's literally like you can look at it historically. Like here,
I agree, but like,
hold on.
If I win a best ball tournament and Jonnu is part of the reason, I'm in. And also like if they're dude, the Dolphins went all in last year. That's part of the reason they're so bad right now is because they really thought last year was their year.
I'm just randomly, I just pulled up 2019. Here are some examples of this. Remember the year Austin Hooper finished tight end 6 in 2019?
Next year, people loved him. Yeah,
people loved him the next year.
To be fair though, he's not doing what John
2020, right? Robert Tonyan, tight end 3.
But
immediately
put their season-long numbers in context of what Jonnu's doing right now, because my guess is that Jonnu has like 50 more targets than them. Right? Like Tonyan's season was like 810.
Here's a good one. Dawson Knox, tight end 8 in 2021.
Barely drafted that year because the Bills switched from 4 wide receivers exclusively to 11 personnel. 3
How
wide
about
receivers.
Tyler Higbee? The Tyler Higbee 6-game stretch where he went mega nuclear.
There have been for years running, Higbee has been like a 10th round pick in an easy fade. Scored a touchdown last week.
Anyway,
but how many receptions did those guys have compared to Jonnu? Is my question.
I mean, it's more touchdown based. Sure.
That's what I'm saying. Like, like if a guy has 100 targets and is literally out targeting Tyreek and Waddle, like that's not the same thing as Tonyan, like scoring like 7 leak out touchdowns.
Yeah, dude. I will have if Jonnu Smith is a top 100 pick. I'll just have none. I will just have like it's just inexcusable, man.
He's not that dissimilar than Njoku. He's just older, you know?
Exactly. And we have a much longer sample of him being like literally like getting benched.
Well, that's Ritter's fault.
Jonnu Smith is going to be 30 next year.
If
Before
it's
this season, he had never topped 582 yards.
if it's Jonnu and Tua and Tyreek is gone, I'm probably in. Like I'm not
Tyreek,
gonna, not 100% guy, but at least like 6 to 8%.
Tyreek makes too much money, I think, to be gone.
Oh, he might even if the O line is garbage, the O line's garbage. Like they have to build the plane.
You know what, Tyreek, come home, man. Come home, Tyreek.
There's been rumors of that.
I mean, don't you think he wants to come home? Don't truly? Don't you think Tyreek is like, dude, this has been the worst 3 years of my life. This has been the
dude, he's in Miami. He's in Miami. Like if he can't have fun in Miami,
he's in Miami making TikTok
no income tax,
losing football games.
I don't think Tyreek cares about winning football games, man.
I think that is. I just don't think you can be that good at football and not care about winning football.
I think Tyreek cares about Tyreek and being awesome and beating the guy across from him, but I don't think he cares about like winning at all costs. He doesn't scream that to me. You need a special psycho to really love football that much, and I don't think that's Tyreek.
See, I really do disagree with that because I just don't think you could be that good without being. There was like a 3-year stretch.
Good because he is scary, fast, and shifty. That's not like it's not like he like grinded in the backyard and like.
I think he probably did. I think think there have been like. How about this? There are many more guys with Tyreek's ability who turn out to be Kadarius Toney than turn out to be Tyreek Hill.
No doubt, Tyreek is a special talent. There's also a lot of football games I've seen Tyreek lose, and he's immediately cracking jokes, having fun. If you really, really, really care about football, that's really not what you do. You do what
Stephon Diggs does, and you sit and you get mad and you look at the.
You're pissed off, and yeah, like you need a second. Like you are emotionally unstable when you lose. Like you're not like whatever. My life is good.
Well,
Tyreek,
we'd still. Let me tell you, dude, we'd love to have you. We'll give you the same whatever DeAndre Hopkins is getting paid. We'll give you that. Actually, we'll give you what Juju's getting paid. You're 31. We'll give you what Juju's getting paid. Come home.
That's not happening. He's not going back there, dude. He's not going back to the cold. His blood's thinned.
I'd love him. I'd love to have him back, man. I'd love to have him back.
These are the highest owned players. James Conner may or may not play. Also, Trey Benson may or may not play. So we might have like DJ Dallas.
I think Trey Benson is just out.
Okay, so Benson out.
Up.
Connor, I would guess, is doubtful. Brian Thomas Jr., grown-ass man.
Brian Thomas Jr., by the way, the example of a guy I wouldn't be that stoked to have on my team.
I think so we're going to look at some of this, but like, obviously he's mega chalk. I think you are excited to have him. He's not going to win it for yourself. He's 40% owned, but it doesn't take a lot to get like a unique player.
He's also just been running super hot on efficiency. Really is it's like the target volume's been really good, but he also is scoring like he's got.
That's what he does. That's what he does. That's like, he's just like big Tyreek Hill. What do you mean?
So I'm just thinking in terms of like, chalk I'd like to have. Chalk I'd like to have would be like Brock Bowers, where I just know that guy is getting the ball 15 times no matter what.
But this is so it's like Bowers, Brian Thomas are two mega chalk guys. But like,
wow.
You throw these three together, it's me and one other guy, right? Like Nico is
Liam, you are gonna win Best Ball Mania 5. Do you guys realize this man is prepare for the world where Chess Liam wins Best Ball Mania 5?
Dude, would be insane. Just my team was the 9th highest scoring, I think, this week in the contest. So hoping we can do a little bit better than that. Chuba, I think, is definite chalk you would like. Bucks are a little bit worse against the pass, but they're just a bad defense. Goff, I don't think is chalk you would like. Daniels, I think, is chalk. Would you prefer a different rushing quarterback? Sure, but like at cost, getting Jaden, he's not going to win it for you by himself. But again, like, yeah, like looking at the chalk by itself doesn't seem great. But you throw some guys in there. You throw like Brian Thomas and then like Bowers. Like these are three chalky guys. Still, it's only on like 13 teams, right? One of which is me. And then you can throw on like a lower owned guy, like a Nico, and it's like, wow, now you got yourself here. So it's like the chalk by itself, not a lot of teams have all the chalk. Amon-Ra.
That's actually, you know what, Liam? That's a good point. Combinatorial chalk. It's just like I think about this a lot in DFS too. Like the three most owned guys. Like let's say there are three guys who are all 40% owned. Just the way it works is they're not all going to be on the same team together. Like you're getting more unique.
Yeah,
as you add on more combos.
Like I have a Puka Devonta Smith team, and like that alone is chalk. I mean, is a unique. And so then I can throw like whatever chalk I have. It's like with Chuba, who cares? I still have the only team. Like if these are the two dudes scoring 30 plus, chalk out. Like let's have the chalk go. Like, right? Like the top DFS players cram a lot of chalk is what we've learned over time.
Oh yeah.
Goff, I don't think you'd like. Amon-Ra, I don't think you want the first round pick that performs the best. I think in a vacuum, everyone would prefer Bijan, Puka. Like Puka is the best to me just because he's wide receiver eligible. Same reason I'd rather have Chase than Jefferson, just ownership wise. Chase than Amon-Ra. Terry McLaurin, he scored okay, and then like he is chalk because of Jaden Daniels. Cook, I don't think it's like, he has such a variance to his game, and
that would be chalk. I would really not want to have. I know you'll disagree, but that's like the needing.
I kind of agree with you because at the start of the Pats, like the Bills were 14-point favorites, and at the start of the Pats game, like the second series, the Bills were giving Ray Davis the ball. Clearly, to me, why? Because they have nothing to play for, and they want to get him ready for the playoffs. And then the Bills were trailing by 14. They're like, okay, we can't fool around anymore. But if this Jets game, if the Bills get up 14 or whatever, I don't think they're going to be, full steam ahead with Cook. I think that's when you will see Ray Davis, Ty Johnson.
Ray Davis. Yeah.
Jefferson, again, same thing with the Amon-Ra. Like, I think in a vacuum for other first round picks, but they're obviously awesome players. I don't think.
Why would you not want Jefferson?
No, I said I think both these guys are awesome players, but in a vacuum, you prefer the lower.
I definitely, if I could choose one, I'd choose Bijan, I think.
Yeah, and I'd rather have like Puka, but like I'd rather have Jefferson than Tyreek, right? Like I'd rather have Jefferson than Lamb, assuming Lamb's not healthy. I'd rather have AJ Brown than both these guys.
You definitely would not.
Just with 31 teams, like compared to 132, 159, just a clearer win equity, And then Jameson Williams is not chalk. I think I'd want big play guy.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, no. These are the other ownerships of the finals.
Quentin Johnston, man, had to have it.
So
Donald Parham Jr. making it in. You love to see it.
1 year, Davis went on the Underdog pod and touted.
I ruined best ball. I made Hayden and Josh like not have fun. They were like, "This actually
talk to the people about the Algier Ertz thing. To tell them about that.
So this would have been
BBM 3.
I want to say BBM 3. So this was whenever
the year after I won. Yeah.
It was when Pete did his week 17 is all that matters video, and people realized, oh, it's not just about like, oh, I just want all the best players. There's like a little bit more nuance to it. And, I was doing a best ball mania with Hayden and Josh on the Underdog football show. And I assume we took Algier first. It's hard for me to remember the combination. We either had Ertz or Algier. And then I was like, oh,
Falcons played the Cardinals that year. And what's funny, Davis, is I actually won the 5-5-5 with McBride, who was like Ertz,
Ertz's backup.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I was like, oh, we gotta take Ertz here for the Ertz Algier week 17 correlation. And basically Hayden and Josh were just like, this is
Their
fucking
mind was blown. Their mind was blown. They're like,
their
what are
mind
you
was blown.
talking about?
They were not there yet in fantasy football analysis, and it kind of just became a meme. And the Brees Hall Chase Claypool week 17 combination were there.
I mean, dude, who is Tristan Jackson? who is
He
that?
was, he was on the Rams for a while. He's like a punt returner. I mean, I don't think he ever would have been draftable.
Dude, we got Michael Thomas in the
No,
finals.
actually, you know what? He's a Viking now, and it must have been. I bet he got drafted that week where everyone thought Jordan Addison was getting suspended. I bet that was it.
Who are the sickos?
Scroll the ass down, dude.
Taysom Hill at quarterback, 2 teams.
Better pick than Patrick Mahomes.
Dalvin Cook. You know, some actually sharp picks in here too, like Will Dissly. I wasn't a believer in. Josh Dobbs. What is going on there?
People said Casey Washington was the next
Eric Gray. Rasheen Ali. I was in there myself.
Yeah.
Carson
Steele showing up.
Hollywood showing up on 10 teams. Puka Nacua, 10 teams. Pretty sick.
Man, you'd feel fucking good if you had Puka.
Dawson Knox, 11 teams is pretty outrageous, honestly.
Well, only like, drafters were taking Dawson Knox.
It's just like very high owned for that. Kamani Vidal. I guess if we go from the top down. Devontae Adams, no surprise. He's chalk after 2 solid weeks. Drum Ford somewhat represented here. I don't like if Jameson is not playing, if Jameson isn't playing quarterback, I definitely don't think you want Judy.
You definitely don't think you want Judy.
Ben Sinnott, dude. Chalk, 52 teams. Hilarious.
How is Ben? I guess because he correlated very well with Jaden Daniels.
And same with Luke McCaffrey, dude. 50 teams of him, 52 was Sinnott.
Luke McCaffrey almost scored a kick return touchdown.
I know, he looked good on those. So hopefully he gets more run. Somewhat shocking, 50 teams of Devonta Smith. Like, he scored a well week 15, but
he just correlated so well with Barkley, with Hurts.
I guess. I don't think it actually was that. I think I looked at it. Bryce Young, 46 teams, absurd. Jermaine Burton, 47
maybe it's
teams.
just that in the round Devonta was going, there were some of the worst picks on the board. Like around Devonta, there were just some of the literal biggest zeros in the contest.
To your point, there's 43 DJ Moore teams who was priced similar, and Mike Evans was the real like smash from that round. 95 teams for him. I think that feels pretty nice. Ownership considered. Tyler Conklin getting some insane ownership here, somewhat 39 teams.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Tyler Boyd on 35 teams is absolutely insane. What's going on there? Nick Chubb, 34 teams, got some zeros. Adonai Mitchell, well represented. Gabe Davis out for the year. So yeah, James Conner, whether he plays or not, which I'm rooting for him to rest up. Huge inflection point for these finals. And yeah, these are. Go ahead, Davis.
Yeah, I mean, I would say James Conner is like one of the biggest deals of the whole week. Probably the biggest deal, actually.
Absolutely. So on these teams, just to show you guys some more uniqueness. So this team, it was a stream team on May 24th. Daniels and Mayfield.
These are your finals teams?
Yeah. Daniels and Mayfield, ETN, Brian Robinson, Blake Corum, Jerome Ford, Ray Davis, Chuba. So a little bit thinner at running back, but like Brian Robinson Jr. might be pretty nice.
He got benched last week.
He got benched, but I don't feel like that. I feel like that's like a one game thing.
Well, he came back in. He came back in when they had to get serious about winning the game. They benched him when they were down a bunch of points, and they were like, all right, that'll show him.
Yeah, I think it's like he should be back. And it's nice because I'm covered for Jaden scoring well or Brian Robinson Jr. getting the touchdowns. Ideally, he catches one, right? And he's somewhat low owned, only on 30 teams. ETN, dude, like, you know, he gets the Titans. The Titans are the weirdest defense where they're like top 5 in yards allowed at everything, but bottom 30 in points allowed.
They're
So,
just, I mean, they're just terrible. I think.
can we get the ETN random 3 touchdown game after having like the objective worst year on the board? And then, you know, some guys who were just the best picks in fantasy this year: Jaden Daniels, Mayfield, Chuba, to
That
Blake
is a
Corum.
crazy running back room, and then Chuba Hubbard. Like all those guys kind of sucked, and then I guess Brian Robinson Jr. was okay.
Well, what's somewhat unlucky about this, Davis, is I streamed this draft, right? And I looked back and watched the stream, and the guy I drafted from the 3 hole, and the guy at my 2 hole was clearly watching the stream. And my rankings went Brian Robinson Jr. and then Chase Brown, well above like his ADP, probably like 2 rounds above. And the guy on my inside took Chase Brown, probably because he saw my rankings flash. So
tough.
So Blake Corum maybe would have been Chase Brown for me, which would have felt better. But hey, you never know, dude. Kyron, you know, twists an ankle quarter 1. We get the Blake Corum winning the contest. And then a loaded wide receiver room: Chase, Nico, Mike, Terry, Brian, Thomas. All of them are somewhat chalky, excluding Nico. And then Elijah Moore, never say never. Luke McCaffrey.
Well, if Judy's, I mean, if Jameis starts, Elijah Moore's like good leverage.
Yeah, somewhat, and he's got to be low owned, 8 teams. And then just to show, it's like, okay, so Nico is my low owned guy, 26. And then it's like you just do like Chase, who's high owned, and Nico. You know, like how many teams am I competing against if those are the nuts? Only 4 teams, right?
Yeah.
And then you can throw in your chalk, Terry McLaurin, still only 2 teams, right? So it's like, yes, chalk is not going to win it by yourself, but your collection of chalk can. And then Bowers and Ferguson, right? And it's like, what feels good about this is, like weeks ago, I was like, the guys I would most want in the finals are, one of them is Bowers because they get the Saints, who are terrible against the middle of the field.
God, dude, that game last night, I mean, Jesus Christ, dude, the Saints.
Jacobs getting pulled in the second quarter helped people, hurt others. Pretty insane.
Yeah.
And then Nico was the other guy I said I'd want because he gets the Ravens' terrible secondary. We'll see how it works without Tank out there. And the Ravens have been a little bit better, but still, I think you're super excited about that. So fun team, right? And how about like the game stack of Baker, Mike, and Chuba? Like that's got to be a pretty chalky stack. 18 teams. Like if that's the nuts, okay. Like we're not competing against that many teams.
Right.
And then this team, I think I've been calling it the team of destiny. Got Daniels and Stafford. Dude, can we please get Statty Ice to throw that like 505 game? Like he's not giving us one in a while. Jonathan Taylor, Chase Brown, Jerome Ford, Rico Dowdle, Chuba. So 5 strong running backs.
That Chase Brown, Rico Dowdle, slappy combo. Go check how many teams are there. And then just put a big fat slappy logo. The Chase Brown, Rico Dowdle. I mean, it is unreal slappy. How many?
So 98 for Chase, 50 for Rico, and then Chase and Rico together is 8 teams. And then
I bet all those guys are the biggest goddamn slappies on earth.
Myself included. And Jonathan Taylor, he was on 2% of teams last week. 71 teams now. So he's not mega chalk, but he's not low owned. And he gets the Giants. So it's like that feels like he could definitely smash again. And then loaded wide receiver room.
This is a really good team.
Puka Smith.
Imagine if you had a good player instead of DeMarcus Robinson too.
Well, DeMarcus Robinson, maybe he's the key. Christian Watson, like all I wanted for that game was like, let's just have Christian Watson escape healthy. There's some chance he plays. I don't know though.
Oh yeah, I don't think he's like dead. I just think he is clearly like it was a real injury, I think.
Yeah. And then, I mean, like, Calvin Ridley feels really nice, man. If Mason Rudolph's going to be back there, because the Jags secondary is brutal. And yeah, just like this. Plus Puka. Puka is just, there's only 10 teams. So if Puka can score 103, whatever, like, let's effing go. And then McBride and Jonnu, Benson not as well. So both my teams are loaded at tight end as well. It feels really nice that both of them are relatively different. And like, this is what you want if you can get multiple teams to the finals, where there are some overlapping players. Ford, Chuba, and Brian Thomas, Terry, and Jaden Daniels, I think, are the overlapping players on all of them. But other than that, like, I have different sweats, right? Because like, if I finish first and last, I'm happy, right? You don't want to finish both last.
You really, what you really don't want is, you don't want to finish 111th and 108th. That is, I mean, it's
That could
obviously
happen.
still,
That could happen for sure.
you're still liking the money, but that is like, you don't even get a good sweat. Like at that point, you're not even sweating.
Yeah, you want to give yourself, like, as opposed to a hit 'em with the gritty or a Wizard Wednesdays who are like building the same teams.
Did FFB Wizard get any finals teams?
I don't think so, and he only got one team to the semifinals. So remember how I told you I wouldn't trade? Remember how I told you I wouldn't trade my 20 teams for his 78 teams, and you're like, you're being a fool. It was because of the diversification. Like, if he had perfectly, and I'm not picking on Wizard, amazing regular season.
I am. I'm picking on you, because I bet he talked a bunch of shit. I bet in his head he was like, these fucking streamer touts, they're such losers.
We can check it actually. So there is one guy who got 4 teams to the finals, and then
I recognize that name.
And then I think he drafted with a lot of streamers, and then a somewhat low amount of people that got 2 teams, myself included. Like, there's been years where there's been like way more people getting 2 and 3, and then a bunch of the rest have 1, right? So let's see. Did Wizard get it in? I doubt it. Wizard did not. It's hard to make the finals, right? Like, I'm super fortunate year. I think I played well in some ways. But also, like, yeah, like, you can play the best you can and you can get 0 teams to the finals. So if you got a team to the finals, definitely relish it. Please, God, Puka. Like, Puka, JT, that's got to be somewhat chalky. Insane, because both of them were not good regular season or week 15, but now there's 5 teams. But Puka, Trey McBride, like, I think I'm like, if this mini can go off, I'm competing with almost no one, right? Calvin Ridley, Brian Thomas Jr., 20 teams with that many. But you throw in like one of your tight ends, whatever. And the other thing is, there's a lot of teams that are like not that good that made it, that just have like some zeros, like a lot of zeros on them. Like, they could still do well, but it's thin, right? When you don't have a full roster of a bunch of guys. Davis, you want to share your finals teams with the people here?
Oh yeah. Share my screen.
I agree with this somewhat. If you victory lapped advance rates and got screwed in the playoffs, it is a little bit of karma, right? And it's like, people don't like it. They don't want to hear from me. They think I'm just coping when I tell them week 12 that's like, hey, we'll see what happens in the playoffs, because that's the game we're playing. But like, again, I advanced 51 teams in the DK Millie last year, didn't get any teams to the finals, right? So it's like, it's about getting to the finals and then doing well.
I do just want to show this real quick.
Show your bad beat. Showing a bad beat is good too.
This isn't even a bad beat. This is just hilarious. This was the team last week on stream. I was like, dude, I'm winning the big board. Last place in my pod, without anyone even really sucking. Just no one.
Who Royal fan is? That's Chad
Schrader.
Yeah.
Shout out to him. Like, just basically none of my guys did well. Like, Chase sucked. Cooper Kupp sucked. DJ Moore sucked. Like, they just no one.
Chase scored 19 points. That is a good score. He's not the sole guy to get you there. But
I'm just saying everyone sucked. Like, and like no one. One guy on my team topped 20 points.
Your running backs just as what was rough.
Yeah. All right. So that is my bad beat. No teams through in the pre-draft stuff.
I
The puppy
got
3,
second in the big board.
puppy 3. How much can I win? How much can I win? I can win 100K. All right.
You
This
see,
is
like that's crazy. Like you could make more money than my 2 Best Ball Mania finals teams, right? Like
well,
if this team wins,
as you're gonna see, probably not. Uh, Jaden Daniels and Purdy. So I've got Chalk Daniels. You'd obviously prefer this to be a Purdy smash, but the real issue is the running back room is dead. So Corum 0, Jordan Mason 0, Chase Brown obviously you like, but Chalk James Conner is really my only. Like if you look at it, Chalk James Conner is my only way to win.
dude,
But it
Corum
means
could do it. You never know. Kyron gets
I'm talking about like real,
Singer.
like just like looking at how you'd project the final.
Yeah,
My only way,
you have
my
one
only
running
way
back
to win.
basically.
Well, I have 2, but I need Connor to play and I need Connor to do well, which means that I'm then competing against what 40% of the roughly 40% of the pod. The wide receivers are good, obviously. Jefferson, Debo, Metcalf, McLaurin, Brian Thomas Jr., Jalen
How
McMillan.
about that Debo game, man? Debo, one of the worst picks on the board all year, best game of his season. All
Yeah,
it took was everyone else was dead.
Yeah, I mean, I would have advanced if he got a 0, but still. McMillan, McCaffrey. I assume this is the only differential piece I have. This will be if I win.
And
it'll
Ertz.
probably be,
Ertz is rare, and I love that you have Brendan Rice. It's just a very you pick to show up to the
that
finals.
is yeah. I believe he is on the IR, so not going to get saved there. So that team,
I think I think he was back practicing a couple weeks ago. So you have like an incredibly small out.
so that team is realistically, it's not very good because it relies on an injured running back coming back, an injured chalk running back coming and playing. This team is a little bit better. This is in the first puppy. This is only $50,000 first, but it's a flatter payout. So it's like it's 10,000 or it's $5,000 for 10th. So,
How big is the? Oh, that's nice. How big is the finals?
I have no idea. How do you check?
We'll scroll up. We could probably just tell from the payouts. Probably 310 people.
310. Yeah, 310. Yeah. This team only has one quarterback, but I think it's a quarterback you'd really like to have, Lamar, because he's not super owned. It's got A-Chain, it's got Pollard, it's got Chase Brown, it's got Tajay Spears, and how funny is that Marshawn Lloyd pick there?
Marshawn Lloyd was good process, unlucky result. Like, first of all, there's no way Jacobs would have been getting like as much workload as he's been getting if Lloyd was healthy. Like, we know that he would have been working a lot. And then he returns from his injuries and gets effing appendicitis. Like, that is just like a series of bad luck. Like, he could have easily been a Bucky or Tyrone Tracy. Instead, he's a 0. Like, that happens, with 0 running back, especially.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that could have easily been Bucky Irving, like it's just kind of the waves your running back goes. But the wide receivers are sick. Jefferson, Adams, Addison, Brian Thomas Jr., QJ. That's very funny. I said this in Pete's Discord earlier. If you could have one Marvin in the final, would you rather have Marvin Harrison Jr. or Marvin Mims?
Let me look up Marvin Harrison Jr.'s ownership in the finals, because I think some people got him through.
Devontae Walker probably a 0, but Andrews and Fant, so two live bodies at. I think Fant scored last week, didn't he?
All right, over under 10 Marvin Harrison Jr. teams in the best ball.
Hard under, easy
okay,
under.
over under 5.
I'm gonna say there are 2 Marvin Harrison Jr. teams.
There's 8.
All right, well, there you go.
How did these people start? Puka Marv. Wow, someone got a Puka Marvin.
Yeah, getting a Puka Marv has to feel pretty good.
Jefferson Marv, so a falling Marv. Amon-Ra Marv, so a falling Marv. AJ Brown Marv. Marvin Nico, so forcing uniqueness there. AJ Brown Marv. And then AJ Brown Marv and AJ Brown Marv. Did you see the unlucky and the lucky list this week for the Best Ball Mania finals?
I did, but that is the type of stuff that I think people should not. You should not be aware of that. You shouldn't know that. You should not focus on it. That doesn't help you in any way. It only makes you mad.
Yeah, I somewhat agree. It is, some teams that got in only scoring 140 though. Like that's some good pod luck. Both my teams were top 200 scores this week, so I didn't run good on pod luck. I could have gotten a third team in though if my one team that scored 150 was in a lucky pod.
This is my last team. This is in the mini Schnauzer what? Mini Schnauzer 7. 10K to first. So I could win this and still be in the red on the year and best ball.
It's quarterback room.
It's got good quarterbacks, Daniels, Goff, Darnold, good running back room, Kyron. I guess Jalen Warren's not really that good, but Dowdle, you think Dobbins might play this week, but probably not. Bigsby,
yeah, probably not.
But then Jefferson, Cup, Worthy, JSN, Leggett. Actually, this team kind of sucks. Never mind. This team kind of sucks. So probably not going to win.
Yeah. Laporta being chalky, dude, is somewhat funny. Let's look at the NFL implied team totals for the upcoming week and talk a little week 17.
Easier way to do this.
That's how I like to do it. More than one way to skin a cat.
You just tilt me because you don't share your tab. You share your whole window. It really tilts me.
Yeah, then I can click through.
You can also never you do whatever you want, Chesley.
What I do is objectively better than the 25 ads you run when you co-stream. Okay, so
how do we run different amounts of ads?
I meant like what you have scrolling across the bottom and or at the top.
Oh yeah.
Cracking jokes. So I guess we'll just go this by highest total here.
We call that my NASCAR dashboard.
Yes, your dashboard. Bucks. I mean, I'm kind of shocked. Highest implied team total, 28 and 3/4.
Just stink shit, dude. The Panthers just stink to high heaven.
And their offense, the Panthers' offense being somewhat frisky. So, both teams might score here. And the Bucks need playoff help. They need the Falcons to lose to the Commanders, basically.
Yeah.
Bills makes sense. Let's hope this is a Ray Davis game. Rams. Ooh, I'm getting excited. Puka Nacua with the 27 and 3/4 team total. I wasn't really expecting that. Lions, 27 and 1/4. Par for the course for them. Bengals, 26.5. Ravens at 26. Christmas Day. Eagles, 25 and 3/4. Obviously, Hurts dependent here for a lot. Daniels, 25.5. Let's go, Jaden. Jefferson, 25. Colts, 24. JT looking nice. Packers, 24. On the road, mind you. Seahawks, 23 and 3/4. 49ers, 23 and 3/4. Somewhat surprising. Broncos, 23.5. Really, you would only want Bo Nix from the Broncos, right? Like, is there any skill player you want there?
Marvin Mims, bro.
Okay, come on. Chiefs, 23 and 1/4.
I think you'd take Estime after last week, right? Around 18 pick. I think you'd take Estime.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't know. It's like he can't do what Jerome Ford did, though. Like, he can't crack a 60-yard run. He's got to just fall in the end zone four times.
Gus Edwards. He's
got Gus Edwards that will only get the ball at the red zone, though. Like Gus broke a 20-yard run. Chargers 23 and
I don't know why you're hating on Audric Estime, bro. What did he ever do to you?
I hated all season long on the take Broncos running back in every draft. I thought that was,
and turns out it was right.
I was like, is it really the best thing for the market to be taking exactly one Chief running back and
by the way,
running backs?
We got to talk about this. Worst possible sweat is the way week 17 is staggered, where there's like a game every day for 5 days. You can very conceivably just be dead by Sunday. You
It's a
could just be
very
like, oh,
long sweat. I don't think you can never be dead with a lot of games to go, because even if Nico drops 50, your guy could drop 52.
no, but I'm more thinking the opposite. Like, so for one of those teams I had, like the shitty running backs,
Oh,
like
you might be, your team might have all your guys play and be done. Yes, that might
well,
happen.
it's more like Samaj P. Ryan is like my only difference. And it's like, oh, you can laugh like, oh, Samaj P. Ryan. Gus Edwards got 20 last week. But like, once I know,
Jerome Ford was a joke, and now he's a playoff winner, dude.
well, just basically once I know Samaj P. Ryan gets 4 points, it's like, well,
No,
I'm
because
dead.
you
James
can
Conner
win.
playing.
You could still, like, if you nut everything else, the 4 is okay. Like, if you just have the
Probably
if
not.
you have the only combo of like 3 dudes who contribute 30 points, the 4 points won't matter. But no, it is kind of brutal. Like, I like to rip it all at once, versus like having so many games left, but it's how it is. Dolphins 23 and a quarter.
That
Jonnu
feels high.
in
That
the
feels high.
it's somewhat high. Jonnu in the cold though, smashed last time. Let's do it again. I thought Penix looked good. What was your takeaway?
Yeah, I thought Penix looked better than I anticipated. Really would have liked for DFS for only one of those
Bijan?
defensive touchdown. No, the defensive
Oh,
touchdowns.
the defensive touch.
That ruined because I played a lot of Penix in DFS, and I would
Did you
have liked
see
like
the
60
Millie
from
Maker
him.
team had a Penix Falcons D correlation?
No, that's I well, yes, no, I did see.
The $20 Millie Maker team had Penix's like 7 points. Drake London, by the way, exited. Seems unlikely to me to play, but I don't know. I mean, it must win game for them. So Cardinals 20.
They said coach said Drake London's fine. They said if it was close, he would have went back in.
I stand corrected. He is fine. Cardinals 21 and a quarter. Yeah, I mean, this game's big. Panthers 20 and 3/4. Texans 20 and a half. Really not great for the Texans, it seems. But Nico, we'll see. Steelers 20 and a quarter. Jags 20 and a quarter. Bears 19 and 3/4. Pats 19 and a quarter. Drake May looked good against the Bills. Not that surprising. Probably big for Gerard Mayo not to get fired. Titans 19 and a quarter. Raiders 19 and a quarter. I mean, I'm kind of shocked it's so low just because of how bad the Saints are. Like, give them at least like a 21. Jets 18 and a half. Yikes. Saints 18 and a quarter. Cowboys 16 and 3/4. Browns 16 and 3/4. And the Giants at 16. I mean, some abysmal totals. A reminder to draft players in good offenses. What did I want to say now? Oh, yeah. I want to look at the NFL schedule as far as how it's staggered, so tomorrow,
It's so
Christmas.
tilting.
Merry Christmas to everyone, by the way. Chiefs, Steelers, Ravens, Texans. So the Chiefs players are not that high owned, but of course, Worthy, Hollywood, Hopkins, Pacheco, any of these guys could have a good game. So funny, dude, that Kareem Hunt scoring that touchdown tanked our pick'em from last week.
I know. Isn't that so annoying? And it's like I actually had that I had that in like everything, and I had like a relatively good pick'em week, so it like was just extra annoying. And I had for that game, I had a 7 out of 8 that hit, but it was lower on his rushing yards. So
the funniest thing to me is that like Kareem Hunt goes from like a rarely drafted to strictly last round playoff best ball pick to he has one good week, and everyone's like, oh, this guy has to go 2 rounds before the last round now, right? Like,
well, I think
just the reaction week to week to all this stuff is hilarious.
I think the deal with him is that the market was wrong the first time, where it was like, oh,
no, I agree. But
Pacheco's just the guy. I mean, it's just
same
not,
with
it's
Ty
just like,
Johnson though. But like, it's just like we're just reacting to what happened.
See, I think that's probably right. Where Ty Johnson he's just gonna be more likely to have an explosive play against the Chargers or whatever.
No, he can do 0 or he can catch like a 60-yard touchdown. Like that's kind of what he's been. But like that's a draftable player if you're drafting Bills, and the market wasn't doing that. The market wasn't doing that until he had a good game, is what I'm saying.
Oh, I was taking him.
Me too.
I have all the Bills shitters. I'm way above market on all the Bills shitters.
You got to if you're into the Bills. Ravens, Texans, big game. Lamar, chalk. Nico is a huge, maybe he has this generational game. You have to have him. And then Derrick Henry, obviously, somewhat chalky. Mark Andrews, somewhat chalky. Let's check the ownership on them. Henry showing up on 65 of the teams. Andrews, I don't think it's really chalk you want. Like he's obviously one of the best tight ends to have, other than like McBride, Bowers, Jonnu.
I definitely rather. My hot take is all these wide receivers being banged up is way bigger for Likely than it is for Andrews, because Andrews' role is pretty stagnant, but Likely has more ability to gain routes. He plays more snaps than Andrews every game.
Yeah. And then we have one Thursday night game, Seahawks Bears, which Ken Walker left with an injury, but then
He rolled his ankle.
Yeah, so don't know if he's playing, don't know if Charbonnet's playing. JSN should be somewhat chalk. I don't think you want any of the Bears guys, but the Seahawks defense isn't that good either. So who knows about this game? And then we have 3 Saturday games. Chargers, Patriots. Not a ton of consequential guys here. Lad McConkey, Herbert somewhat, whoever's the Chargers running back, Drake May. Broncos, Bengals is a huge one. Chase Brown, Jamar Chase.
That is a big one. I mean, Knicks has to be like a decent, because he was so late and he scored well. He's got to be decent owned.
I think Bo Nix naked is like the dream. And let's like look at these Bo Nix teams. Like Bo Nix.
I mean, you'd like that.
Sutton's not bad either. Sutton's not bad, but like the overstacked Broncos, which I definitely think I overstacked like some teams this year, such as like the Bills. Like there's no need to take like 3 Bills with Josh Allen. And it's a reminder, when you show up to these playoff rounds, you often do want the skinny stacks. So this one had Sutton and Mims. Like that's not like, Sutton, Mims, Hyatt. It's like, no, that's too thin. Like it's got some other pieces, but I don't like that. This one has Mims only, which seems fine. But like, why are you tacking on Bo Nix with Josh and Jaden? Like that's just bad allocation of resources, in my opinion. Although that team seemed fine. This one has Nix, Troy Franklin. Like you don't want that. You don't want that, right? Is he even running routes right now?
Troy Franklin? Yeah, he almost had a touchdown.
You don't want any of these Broncos shitters, dude. You don't. Like one of them might have a game. I think Sutton is okay, but other than that, no. Cardinals, Rams, another huge one. I mean, for me, this is like the Chess Liam Bowl, where Trey McBride, Puka Nacua, and then James Conner playing on a Saturday night. Lucky for the James Conner people, he doesn't play on Christmas. Unlucky he doesn't play on Sunday. That one day might be the difference. Maybe not a big difference between Saturday night and Sunday morning, but you never know. So yeah, Cardinals Rams is a huge game, the highest owned players in it. And then yeah, if Puka can break the slate, like I should have somewhat of an idea about my team's chances after the Ravens, Texans, and Cardinals Rams play, just because I got Puka and Nico, which honestly, those are 2 dudes I would want. Those are like 2 top 5 picks in fantasy next year. 1 p.m. slate, Cowboys, Eagles.
You gotta be a little bummed that the Cardinals lost.
I think I'm actually not, because like if they won, I think they'd like play cagey and try to like, like run the ball, like try to like win at all costs, where it's like now they can just play spoiler. So it makes it far more likely they just like go for it randomly on 4th down in their own territory. And it makes it far more likely where they're like, let's get Trey McBride his touchdown, because like,
Okay.
like in close, they don't need to win. Like who cares if they win, right? Let's just try to get him the touchdown at all costs. Like we don't need to run James Conner and or whoever here. Cowboys, Eagles, big game. Let's check out the leverage on Saquon. So Saquon is 86 teams, high owned, obviously, but nothing crazy. AJ Brown. There's like so few. The Eagles are so weird for playoff best ball, man, because it's like it's so easy to get stuck with like naked Hurts or like Hurts and Calcaterra.
No,
AJ Brown.
worst case, you get Devonta. They're not all three gone by the time.
No, because if you go like Hurts Cook and the guy with Josh Allen takes Devonta,
Well, you can't do that. You can't.
I do that all the time. I'm trying to do Hurts Cook Devonta, but
You're
sometimes the Allen drafters like screw you.
You're just bleeding expected value because the Allen guy should take Cook at 100% clip.
Yeah, and you take Cook before him with Hurts on inside of him.
But then he should also take Devonta at 100% clip. There's not even an argument for another player.
Yes, there is. You could they could do Packers, they could do
The
Vikings.
Eagles have like twice the NFC Conference Championship odds as the Packers.
Yeah, but then you got to ask yourself how I go Devonta usually, but I don't do it 100% with Josh because how often are you winning the Super Bowl if it is Bills, Eagles, and all you have is Devonta, you know?
I mean, it's much more likely to win than if you have Calcaterra and Gainwell.
Oh, yeah, fair, but
Eagles for playoff best ball, Eagles Bills Super Bowl is like a nightmare because it's the ultimate only two guys in a game ever get there. It's like the quarterbacks get there and then one of their teammates and then everyone else is just it's all scraps.
Kincaid's Super Bowl will be one there, I guess.
Kincaid's 7 targets, 4 receptions, 15 yards is in the
winner. You need them. You're separating. You're separating from the field.
You're gonna need them. Yeah.
So Smith, Brown, and Hurts are all leverage off of Saquon in some ways. What would you estimate Hurts's playing chances are? I'd put him as doubtful, but
I'd say sub 50%.
But it's really close because he got the good news for Hurts drafters. First off, extremely unlucky. Hurts has missed 3 of the last 4 fantasy playoffs.
Yep.
1 year COVID, this, and then another year he got hurt. Panthers Buck, a huge game. Chuba, Chalk, Mike Evans, and Mayfield somewhat high owned. Bucks have the highest implied total on the slate. I'm hoping Mike, Mayfield, Chuba can be a hit. Jets and Bills. Consequential game just because like the Jets pieces don't matter at all. Almost no one has them. But how do the Bills? Is it like
Adams is probably owned a good bit.
Adams super high owned. I stand mistaken, corrected there. I forgot about him. But Tyler Conklin's weirdly high owned too. But then the biggest pieces are like, is this going to be like Bills Pats or is this going to be like Bills Rams, Bills Lions? Strikes me as a more Bills Pats where Ray Davis, dude, having a 2 touchdown game would be pretty big for my Nico team. And then what does James Cook do? Colts Giants, definitely a super consequential game with Jonathan Taylor. Not other many pieces.
It's also a super consequential game for the Colts and the Bengals.
Yes, because
the Bengals need the Colts or the Dolphins to lose one of their next 2 games.
And honestly, I feel like the least likely thing to happen for the Bengals is that the Colts lose a game because the Colts need to lose. I thought they could lose to the Titans, but they have the Giants and then the Jags. And maybe Brian Thomas Jr. can push the Bengals in the playoffs, which I'm rooting for the Bengals in the sense that I want the best playoffs possible, but I don't really want the Bills to play the Bengals round 1. That's not a welcome to wild card weekend. That's like playoffs start now,
Yeah, I as a Chiefs fan, I do not want the Bengals in the playoffs. I don't even know. Maybe I
definitely do because it's Bills or Bengals. Only one of them could play you.
Yeah, I saw someone post yesterday there. If the Bengals make it, the Bills' path would be, it would be Bengals, Ravens, Chiefs, which is just like fuck. That's terrible.
Well, you would earn it, but what side the Ravens are on with the Texans losing Tank Dell, what side the Ravens are on is substantial to the Chiefs and Bills because there will be iterations where the Ravens are on the Chiefs side, which really means the Bills would only need to beat maybe the Broncos and then Chargers, Texans, and then whoever Ravens or Chiefs, which is not too bad. Or it could go exactly what you said: Bengals, Ravens, Chiefs / whoever beats the Chiefs. Malik Neighbors, I don't think he's high owned, and I also don't think you want him on half point. Like, special talent,
He had a
but
touchdown called back last week.
yeah, he can do it. It's so hard for him to get like
You know who has
202.
more touchdowns than Malik Neighbors?
Darius Slayton.
Xavier Worthy.
That's not surprising.
Little guy who plays for the Kansas City Chiefs. Might have heard of him.
Raiders Saints. Is Kamara out for this game for sure, or is he?
I just can't imagine any relevant Saints player playing. Like, even Marquez Valdes-Scantling didn't play last night.
He is on one team in the finals too. Huge game for Brock Bowers. Really the biggest piece here.
Yeah.
Titans Jags. Brian Thomas Jr., the highest owned wideout, or one of them. Calvin Ridley, important for one of my teams. Pollard and Spears. Spears is like chalk after a good playoff run. Dolphins Browns. Achane and Jerome Ford. High owned guys in this one. And then Judy as well. Packers Vikings. Jefferson super high owned. Josh Jacobs high owned. And then kind of good news for me that Christian Watson has until at least Sunday evening to heal up. He's probably doubtful, but let's see what the Josh Jacobs ownership is. So he scored well, but not amazing. 94 teams. So overrepresented for what he did, I feel like correlates with Jefferson is my guess. 35.
I can't believe all these games are on freaking Saturday, man.
No, these games are Sunday. The Saturday.
I know. I'm just really tilting how much extra work this is gonna. Like, I'm gonna have to make an extra video for these. This is so annoying.
Dude, more videos is good.
And the Sunday slate is just miserable. It's just like it's like the worst, grossest 8-game slate of the year. It's like so bad. Like, Bryce Young is like the quarterback 5 on the slate.
And then Falcons Commanders, huge game. Jaden Daniels leading me to the promised land. Did anyone get any Penix to the finals? Let's see.
That's an interesting question. Gotta be someone who got him. No, none.
There's only 5 in the semifinals. Two that were close. Bijan somewhat represented. I mean, Mooney has to be chalk regardless, just because of his 50 teams, 60 teams that is. Pitts is on 10 teams. I don't think you want that. London, who could have had a pretty decent game, 14 teams. And then we end it with Lions 49ers.
Should have been like the game of the week, and instead is just like super depressing.
Well, it's got the highest owned combined ownership as far as the Lions guys. And then on the 49ers side, Jennings, there might not be anyone with him. 6 teams. Kittle is really like the best 49er, 78 team. So important game. Profiles is more of like a Gibbs game in some ways. So yeah, that would be
every game profiles is a good game now.
Definitely, but just like the Niners are not as good, and we just saw Achane smash them, and Isaac Rendo should play. He's on 3 teams, I think. So yeah, I mean, with all the spacing, like, who knows? Like, teams could feel dead Saturday, teams could feel dead Sunday evening, Sunday night.
Just so tilting.
I think it's kind of hard until these 2 games go, just because of how much ownership there isn't. Like, if Jaden Daniels drops 40, you're not safe if you have some randoms here. Yeah. What would be the week 17 game stack you would most want right now with all information at your disposal?
Honestly, isn't it Buccaneers Panthers? Like Baker, Evans, Bucky, Thielen, Chuba. That it's got to be super high total, high ownerships, but like we said,
nothing crazy. Nothing crazy on Mayfield and Evans.
Yeah, nothing completely out of control. Yeah, it's got to be Buccaneers Panthers.
I would say Cardinals Rams is definitely something that I still believe in. Like they both have good implied team totals.
McMillan as well.
Just like Trey McBride, Puka, and then Ravens Texans is one. Like I'm afraid of the Ravens a little bit, not having them. That game still makes sense to me. And then like kind of like Falcons Commanders feels kind of, but like yeah, I agree with you that like Panthers Bucks is the definite like shitter game where you're like, oh, this could be the Seahawks Lions, where it's just like random to like one bad team at least. And then like Titans Jags, dude. The Jags are just like playing a random like shootout every week, kind of.
Yeah,
Uh,
they could slop it up whenever.
yeah, this could be like a 35-30 game. Um, I don't Seahawks Bears probably not. Chiefs Steelers. You would think it would be somewhat low scoring. Like I just don't think the Chiefs would have to do that much.
I believe
But
every game Mahomes has ever faced the Steelers, he's at it. The Chiefs have scored a minimum of 34 points.
well, okay, we're counting his rookie year stats now, I guess.
Well, just say, man,
The
it's getting hot at the right time. People are saying that about the Kansas
feels
City.
like the league is going to force a Steelers win to get some drama. Honestly, I think that the Chiefs backups are like a coin flip to beat the Broncos starters anyways.
Yeah,
Even if
Carson Wentz against Bo Nix, dude. Who doesn't want to see that?
No, I mean, like honestly, people are like, "Oh, the Bengals won't get in because the Broncos will have to face the Chiefs backups." I think still the least likely thing to happen is both the Colts and the Dolphins needing to lose. That's the hardest path for the Bengals, and kind of insane, dude, that the Dolphins can still make the playoffs. Like I've counted them dead for a while, and they're not that dead. They do need the Colts to lose, though, I believe, which I think the Giants have no chance of beating the Colts, but the Jags have like some chance. If like Brian, Thomas can just go for like 300 yards or something, you got some chance there. Anthony Richardson throws some spotty game. Let's see what anything I got here.
Last
Yeah,
time
just
Mahomes played in Pittsburgh, he threw 6 touchdowns. I'm not saying, but I am saying,
I'm hoping not.
keep your
Here's some
mind open.
numerology for you. 603 Nico Collin teams. You know what the number 603 is?
No, I don't know any of this stuff.
New Hampshire area code where I grew up. So, and then there's 27 teams advancing at one point, which is 727 St. Pete area code. Little numerology for you there, but it's just funny. 200 Jonathan Taylor teams in the previous round, 64 were advancing, 603 Nico, similar priced, 28. So like, as far as what's going to be chalk in the finals, how you do week 15, and more importantly, week 16 is what will matter there. Davis, I think I don't have much else. If you want to rip the pick'em, or if you'd rather do a playoff draft first, I'm down with that. Or if there's anything you want to look at with this, I'm also down. These are the
No.
high scores, by the way. 12th last week or 11th.
And how tilted would you be to have the high score in week 16 and then you min cash? I mean, I guess you'd still be happy with the final, obviously. Yeah, let's do a Christmas only one.
Christmas only one. All right, let's do it.
Let's do a Christmas only, and then we can do a playoff draft.
Please fill this out alongside me because it's like I'm gonna fill it out.
I am.
As far as looking, but I'm gonna need you to send it to me.
Yes.
All right, Christmas only. Yeah, maybe we'll do a couple pick'ems for you guys here. We'll do Christmas only first, Saturday only, and then Sunday only.
Saturday and Sunday, because it's on Tuesday, so people will have an extra day to watch it. Normally we do.
Yeah,
this
so we'll do Christmas only, Saturday only, and
Saturday, Sunday. There's only 8 Sunday. Trust me, if you've not looked at Sunday yet,
we'll do combined. Okay,
it's really bad.
Floor's yours.
All right, we're doing Mahomes 1.5 passing touchdowns over.
You're not taking Worthy?
Oh, we can. I mean, buddy, we're gonna do both. We're gonna do both.
Well, I will be throwing in Nico Collins, ladder
99. Oh, higher.
129.5 higher.
Okay. I mean, look, the Ravens have the worst passing defense in football, so I got no problem there. All right, let's do Worthy to 49.5 receiving yards. You're actually getting like a huge bump there. I don't know that their algorithm.
I got 46.5.
Click the slider. Click the slider.
Oh, you want to slide it? Okay.
Look at this though. Their math is messed up. For 3 yards, you're getting an extra like 13.1. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Okay.
All right.
Let's go. Kind of tempted to do a Pickens under, but I'm also a little like, is there anyone else?
Mike
I
Williams.
love Najee. Let's do Najee lower. God, it's such a low number, dude, but lower 43.5 rushing yards.
Not I don't think that it's a Najee game. I think this is more of a Jalen Warren game. I like that. I also like him not to score a touchdown.
I like that as well, but we're not laying the odds.
All right. I'm gonna take Isaiah Likely. Oh, they don't have any yards for Likely. What do we have for Flowers? Can do Flowers to 59.5 receiving yards. So small multiplier boost there.
Okay. I got a free square for us. Mike Williams.
Yep. Mike Williams lowers.
Lower 15.5. How high will they let you slide this lower? You know, like, can you you could slide this to, you must go higher on 49.
Sometimes when the game gets closer, like maybe they would let us do it on actual Christmas Day.
Honestly, this might be a better bet. Just like him not to get a catch in the first quarter.
All right, we are going to lay odds on something though. We are going to take Derrick Henry to record a receiving or rushing touchdown.
Not to?
No, 0.78x to get a touchdown. I mean, that's just happening. King Henry scoring on Christmas, bro.
I don't know, man. I don't like that one. I'd rather get the odds on the lower, dude.
I'm doing in my slip. He is scoring a touchdown.
I don't. I go with what the people say.
All right, close us out here, buddy.
Let's look here. How about a Noah Gray higher than 1.5 receptions?
I like that. I like it. Noah Gray higher than 1.5 receptions. We are cooked for Christmas. There is that in the YouTube chat.
Oh, it worked. Let's go.
Wow. All right, there you go. And I will put that in the YouTube description.
For the audio, Mahomes higher 1.5 touchdowns. Don't agree. Nico higher than 129.5 receiving yards. Worthy higher than 49.5. Najee lower than 43.5 rushing. Zay Flowers higher than 59.5 receiving. Mike Williams free square lower than 15.5 receiving. Derrick Henry 2-score touchdown reverse mush. Thank you, Davis. Noah Gray higher than 1.5 receptions. Moving on to the Sunday slate. Should I start us off for this one?
Yeah, go for it.
Puka Nacua, higher, 85.5. There's no slider, so we just got to do what he's got there. And I'm going to do another one. Trey McBride, too. We're doing the mini. And then you give us 2 here.
All right. Let's
If you guys are wondering out there, I'm not a hedger. You know, you just bet more on your bags.
I don't even have a good sense of what my bags are, but we'll do Bowers higher than 68.5 receiving yards.
I like it.
And we will do Justin Jefferson higher than 84.5 receiving yards. I mean, there you go. Absolutely
Don't
classic.
like that one as much, but could happen.
Dude, aren't you worried? Aren't you worried about Jair Alexander, bro?
God, they're not giving any Jerome Ford lines. Cowards. The best thing that happened to Jerome Ford, dude, is Deontay Foreman fumbling at the 1.
Yes. Yeah.
Jaden, I want the rushing yards on Jaden, but let's see. 220.5 is kind of low for the Falcons defense. They are so bad. What's Jamar Chase too? Let's do Chase higher than 91.5. Get a little Jefferson Chase in here. Davis.
Can I talk you into Chase Brown rushing yards instead?
I'm okay with both. If you are okay with.
All right, sure. We'll do both. Just Cincinnati playing downhill. All right.
And now it's me. All right, let's do let's do Jaden Daniels higher than 220.5. It could be Jameson Crowner. It could be Diami Brown. It could be Ben Sinnott. It could be Luke McCaffrey. I don't know, but he's throwing that rock to someone.
All right. I'll go Aaron Rodgers lower than 244.5 passing yards. That's been a classic, old reliable all year.
Yeah, that feels. I mean, the Bills' defense definitely is a little bit worrisome on the eve of the playoffs. But just like they can still rush the passer, and Rodgers has been absolutely blown up on some of this shit.
Yeah. All right. You want to do a playoff best ball, or you want to get out of here?
Let's do a playoff best ball.
All right.
Pretty soon it will be all we have. If you guys are wondering, I think Davis and I are planning to at least go through the Super Bowl, where we'll be just doing playoff best ball discussion. So nice to be able to join the desktop, by the way. Let's hope that this is a change.
What do you mean join on desktop?
Like usually I get the error warning and I have to join on my phone.
Oh yeah. That hasn't happened to me for a little while. It's been a little bit better.
This is the first time in weeks. So yeah, Davis and I will at least be going through the Super Bowl, checking in, just summing it up, talking best ball as well. And then we'll probably take a break or two post Super Bowl, and then I don't know if we'll be doing scheduled things for the big board or if we'll just be doing unofficial things, linking up here and there. Davis and I, we'll figure that out, but we'll both be on the grind.
Yeah, dude, we're almost to.
I could be with Fareed, dude. I could be with Fareed.
Send another message to Fareed this morning, letting him know our big dog team didn't get there. Nothing.
And he said, "Who is this?"
I haven't heard from this man he sent me $2,500 to enter big dogs, and I just have not heard from him. Literally nothing.
That was a tax write-off for Fareed.
I guess.
Oh, pretty cool. Patrick said 18 guys entered one Best Ball Mania and made the finals. Pretty insane.
I'm not jealous at all, bro.
There is one guy in my Discord who said he entered one and made it. Did you guys get each other gifts? Great question. I made Davis a hand knit sweater. That's in the mail for him. Davis?
Yeah, dude. I got you the gift of just being your friend. Just
comedy?
Just comedy. Yeah.
Thank you. That's very kind. I will take that. So Davis, my cousin lives in St. Louis, and every year I've won the Best Ball Mania finals, or every year I've won a best ball tournament, I've been with him. And so I'm a little bit mulling over going to St. Louis this year. I don't know. It's kind of weird because it's like, I'm not going on Christmas. I would have to fly out Thursday, and so maybe I break tradition and try to win anyways. But I am a little bit tempted to get out there. But you live on the other side. Like what? You live in Kansas City?
No, I live in St. Louis. I just probably don't live in the same neighborhood as your.
You live in St. Louis as well. Yeah, I just conflated.
I live in the burbs.
And unfortunately, if the St. Louis Chess Club was still running chess tournaments, I feel like I would definitely go because I could play chess. I could.
Yeah, they used to have the huge championship, right? The Linfield Cup, the Lynn something.
Well,
Cup.
the St. Louis Chess Club does. I think they're just shut down for the holidays. And so, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll make it out to St. Louis, and if so, we'll definitely have to link up.
Yeah, we can go have dinner or something.
Yeah, I mean, we'll probably go to the bars to watch the games. I know you don't drink, but we can rip some water shots together. Some Jaeger bombs, Jaeger water bomb.
You can come get a lift in, bro.
Come get it. Yeah, there we go.
Meet
There we
me,
go.
meet me at the gym at 5:30. We'll put some.
There's
We'll put some
nothing
plates on the
Twitter
bar.
loves more than a picture of Davis next to anyone else. Is something we've learned. Or no, actually, those are Leone pics next to Herzig. Herzig's like deceptively tall. So I think we go Cook here, is what I'm saying. And you just hope Devonta makes it on the wrap.
He won't because Hurts got picked behind us.
Yeah, but it's
But
like
either way, it doesn't matter. We're locked out of either combination. This one is interesting. The 2 turn drafters opted not to take Goff, and they're going to get paid. I mean, that's what you should do when Mahomes goes 4. That is what you should. Particularly, that's what you should do if you are the guy at the right. Actually, might get paid off because the Barkley drafter should not take Goff, and it doesn't matter because Bitcoin username Bitcoin said, "I'm doing Lamar and Goff."
Well, I've seen that from like Allen Goff, which I don't mind. Like Allen Goff, like a Lions player, or Allen. I also don't mind people going like Allen Mahomes, as like Allen is like not going to make the Super Bowl, but he's the guy that advances your Chief stacks. I don't mind that strategy either. I don't like going Saquon, Derrick Henry though. Like I don't like you're dead for a Super Bowl, like with 2 of your guys, and so I don't like that at all. This is totally fine to me. I mean, we should get Devonta here, unless this guy just feels like playing like 7 different Super Bowls and tanking his lineup. So, I mean, yeah, this is ideal. Like, this is why you go Cook and you just hope that people play well.
No, that guy played bad. Lamar, both those guys played terrible.
Davis, I think, has like a 700-pound bench press. You'll have to help me out with that, though,
No,
Davis.
I am very strong for my body weight, but I'm a very small guy, so I don't look that big.
I'm more of a steel string bean, although maybe not too string beanie anymore. I mean, this is pretty nutted though to get Hurts, Cook, Devonta feels really nice.
This is ideal, and we do So we just take all Bills and Eagles. We probably don't even have to add a second team. The rest of, I mean, we could add Chief, probably Chief. Or,
sometimes I even go with like I'll go with like Love and Reed if the Josh Jacobs drafter pushes it, and that way you can play Eagles, Bills, Packers, Bills. Feels pretty nice.
I just prefer the AFC side because I think there are 4 teams that can win the. I think there are 4 teams that can be in the Super Bowl from the NFC, and I think there's only 3 teams that can make it from the AFC. So I just want to be heavier on those combos.
Well, I think that should mean that you choose an AFC team, Chiefs, Bills, Ravens, and then you flower in the NFC, which is what I'm saying.
No, I know, but I'm saying in general, I just want to have heavier conconcentrations of the 3 AFC teams, and now we get.
I mean, hugely get Shakir here too. Like that is that. Like he goes at the 1-2.
This is actually a sick team. We might be drafting a shipper right here.
We ran lucky that this guy went Jefferson JMO.
And then added Aaron Jones instead of Addison. That is a bit. I guess he should.
Addison went.
Oh, Addison went. Okay.
We just ran lucky that he didn't take Shakir and didn't take Devonta.
Well, really, we're running good that this guy drafting out of the 5 hole is dead.
I think we're not doing equity swap on these playoffs, but Davis, if this one ships, I'll send you $5,000 or whatever.
Okay.
All right. Now we have so I think Kincaid makes a lot of sense.
We could add. So here's the other thing we could do. We could add a second AFC or Puka at a second NFC team.
I would be Pacheco or Kincaid.
Yeah, I think Pacheco is what the sidekick would tell us to do. I'm pretty sure.
I don't care what the sidekick says. But I do kind of like Pacheco just because it's tough because it's going to be easy to get the cheap Bills. It is not like there will be 3.
It's the more unique combo.
There will be 3 Chiefs players though that you can get. And like I don't want to have to take 2 Chiefs players, you know what I mean? To have a live Super Bowl. But you might not need a full 5 roster if it's Eagles, Chiefs, just because the Chiefs have the bye.
No, the contests are so big that a 5-man roster will get one 5-man roster will get through.
really depends on the scoring of the playoff iterations. You
What
cannot
it
say
happened 2 years ago.
doesn't matter what happened in the past. This is incredible results oriented. Like there will
Well,
be
contests
playoff.
are even bigger now.
It doesn't matter the size. It matters the scoring of the playoff games. So there will be iterations of the playoffs where no one gets a full 5 team to the finals because like
I will book this bet with you at even money that
I'm
if
not
they're
trying to bet it with you. I'm telling you what can happen in theory. Like just like you would have been the guy telling me why are you drafting in May? August is what
no,
wins. I am telling you
this is not the
there will
same thing.
be the Chiefs can go to the Super Bowl winning a bunch of games 3-0.
Oh yeah,
And
no,
no
that's the hardest part about drafting the Chiefs is advancing them in games they win.
no, that's what I'm saying here. And so it's like we're gonna go Kincaid because no one's doing Chiefs on our inside. So we'll like if they want to also do Chiefs for whatever, go with God. But what I don't love about this is like it's just hard to get a second Eagle to feel good about. Because even Goddard, man, like even Goddard, it's like, is he
Take
even gonna
take
return?
take Goddard and Calcaterra.
Yeah, you okay, you gotta take both.
You don't have to. I
I'm kind
like
of
I like
Hollywood over Hopkins. Is
oh
that
Hollywood
crazy?
no Hollywood. I think there's an argument to even take Hollywood over Worthy now.
Yes, but the question is, do we want Hopkins and Hollywood? And if so, we should probably
No,
take Hopkins
no,
first.
we want Hollywood. We don't want both because we want it. What we'll do is we'll take a third Eagle, and that way our Super Bowl roster for that one is
Yeah, but then your third Eagle is Gainwell, Calcaterra, or Goddard. So it
that's
can
the
work.
double. That's the Chiefs Super Bowl.
I
I mean,
know. I just don't.
Kenny Gainwell, Justice Hill, Ty Johnson, Samaj P. Ryan. These are like the most important players in playoff best ball because they're them randomly spiking for 13 in a week is gigantic.
It's just really rare to get a Hurts, Cook, Smith start and Shakir, which does sway me a little bit that like maybe you go Kincaid and Coleman and you just you just play the Bills, Eagles and take your rare start. But it like
Well, we're gonna take another bill.
I know, but that you're not going to get the better Bills. You're going to have to settle for one of I mean the honestly like the second running backs I prefer more than like the Matt Collins and Knoxes of the world unless an injury occurred. Um but like there is like a little like would I love to just have Bills, Chiefs, Eagles, everyone I could go? Sure.
Yeah,
So I think we go Goddard.
I think I would just do that.
We're going to do Goddard. You cool with that?
Yeah.
And I feel like it feels nice. I just don't know if he's playing at all. Like what's your latest?
I haven't heard anything. I'm generally Calcaterra over Goddard, but Herzig made a good point that like for the Super Bowl, Goddard will almost assuredly be healthy. He would have had 8 weeks to recover at that point.
Fair.
I
We
think
we have a
this
pretty
team
thin week wild card weekend roster though.
we need Ty Johnson or Ray Davis with our final pick as well.
Well, you want to go Gainwell and then one of those guys?
Gainwell, yeah.
Or do you want to take an advance rate guy like Lad McConkey?
Gainwell. Our advance rate guys are Devonta Smith, Khalil Shakir.
It's just when you have such a good Super Bowl team, I think it does lead you to just
I
take
agree. In general, I agree, but we kind of
because like we have something that you cannot replicate. We have uniqueness through falling ADPs, which you just can't consistently build. And so it just makes taking like a Lad, a Brian Robinson, whoever with the Chiefs guaranteed not to play pretty much a lot more viable versus because we're gonna get an Eagle and or Bill and an advance rate piece maybe. But really the only confident
how many
advance rate
bills
piece
do we have?
three. And we have 3 Eagles and 2 Chiefs, which we're not doing any more Chiefs, obviously.
I think we want
Ty, Ray, or Lad.
we want an NFC advance rate piece
Why is an NFC better than Lad?
because we already have 2 AFC teams, so they're likely to eliminate each other by the conference championship round.
This is all about getting out of wild card weekend though, and having our Chiefs guys hit our lineup. Like we're just trying to get our Chiefs guys through wild card weekend as reinforcements versus.
I'm just telling you the math based thinking. I mean, honestly, Ray Davis is probably the best possible pick for us here.
He's pretty good. So I mean, Bijan's not a terrible guy, but I don't really like to gamble on this Falcons Bucks pieces.
I don't either. That feels like a fraught spot because they're like so thin to make the conference championship, and they might miss the playoffs, so it's just tough.
Ladd feels like a pretty solid advance rate piece. You also have a full Super Bowl. And then Ray is like, does Ray win us the contest though? So are we trying to get out or are we trying to win 200K, you know?
I think you could defend either. I probably slightly lean Ray. I mean, what if Ray scores twice in the wild card round?
I very slightly lean Ladd just because of how lucky we got, but fuck it, dude. Ray Davis, let's win Best Ball Mania with you, and let's also win this with you.
I mean, like what is the most likely playoff matchup for the Bills right now? Is it the
Broncos?
Yeah, dude. Ray Davis can just get 13 rushes in the second half against the
Broncos. No, I know, but it's like as far as advancing out of the wild card weekend, we're counting on
team. Name that team. Davis gets 5K if this wins, please.
Okay. And I'm giving you that in stake form. So I want to be hitting. I want to be hearing from you about big dogs. Hurts, but why fine. I think Ladd was a defensible pick there. Where I am generally in favor of tying breaks towards Super Bowls is wild card weekend. We have Smith, Shakir, Kincaid.
It was a really good combo to have to try and advance to the Super Bowl. It's a unique combo.
Cook, Gainwell, Day. Like we're a little bit thin. Like we need Hurts to be special wild card weekend. We need Smith to be special, and we need at least one of these Bills guys to be special, right? And it's like, and if Josh Allen drops 40, it's hard. But it is 2 out of 6 advances, so we don't need to finish first. We don't need to finish first, right? So that again tie breaks you towards an extra bill. So it's close. Overall, pretty sick team.
Yeah,
David, should we end it there, my friend? Up on 2 hours. You want to give Power Cashew here any tips?
Eggs. A lot of eggs. A lot of eggs. A lot of olive oil. I obviously don't need any help bulking. It's more the other thing. Getting enough protein while trying to cut is difficult, but there you go. Cashew.
Guys, if you've enjoyed this best ball content with Davis and I, be sure to like our videos. Go to both our streams and do this. Be sure to subscribe to both our streams. We're both on the road to 7K. Be sure to join both our Discords. The link to do that is below.
Good news on Christian Watson, by the way.
Oh yeah? What is it?
Head coach Matt LaFleur on Christian Watson's knee injury. We got good news on him. It's more just a bruise.
That feels good, man. Now we got a piece was, the Vikings, they can be beat deep. Christian Watson, dude, I've been a long time believer. What if he drops 30? So for Davis and I, please do all that, guys. When we end this stream, if you could just refresh it and drop a comment down below, it just helps for engagement purposes. I really hope I can win Best Ball Mania, an absolute historic story that would be to win Best Ball Mania twice. I'm rooting for it.
Can I get a promise from you? If you win Best Ball Mania, you will hire a graphics guy, you will hire a thumbnail guy, video editor.
The guy's name is Davis Mattek, and I am
I'm happy to help you, but I want
ban him, Davis, ban him.
I want you to get to 30,000 YouTube subscribers.
My promise to you is I will come with a vengeance to grow the channel, whether I win or lose. At least, let's win some life-changing money here. I'd definitely be doing a lot of chess stuff if I win too. Davis, good luck in your finals, unless it hedges against my bags. And then I don't remember what you told me. I'm not rooting for you. I'm not rooting against you, though.
No, I'm now trying to change my attitude, and I'm just trying to root for my friends. I don't. It's not. It's I shouldn't.
Healthy.
I realized that like if Peter actually got a team through to the finals, the optics of me being like, I hope Peter finishes last place. It's not great optics, and it's not great for my mental health either. So I'm gonna stop anti-sweating my friends.
Honestly, like really, like people out there, I know why they like to dunk on people. It's because obviously things are not going great for them that they're spending their energy to do this, or worse, they're just like truly a sick loser. But if best ball didn't go great for you, just focus on what can go better for you. And guess what, guys? Maxing Best Ball Mania is not for everyone. I would recommend everyone at least do one team, but contest selection, some of you might like smaller finals, higher stakes buy-ins, something like a Dalmatian, $100, right? Some of you might want to draft 1,000 teams and you are puppy bros. I think you can definitely experience burnout if you do that, and people pretending that that's like viable for everyone is just a little unrealistic to me. But yeah, don't spend your energy searching Davis or Mai's advance rate or Sam Sherman's Eric All draft percentage and trying to dunk on them on Twitter. That is loser energy and not good for you. If you find yourself doing that, go outside, touch some grass. Good luck to everyone else.
Very good advice. Yeah, go to touch some grass. Just be happy for people.
Go for a walk in nature, right? Like don't do that. Davis, it's been a pleasure doing this with you. Hopefully, we are celebrating next week. Me winning would be good for the Wednesday show too, dude. So mutual growth there. Mutual growth.
Oh, God.
Our wagons are hitched, Davis. Our wagons are hitched, whether you like it or not.
Can you imagine the chat next week if you win this fucking tournament again? I mean, my God, man, my God.
A lot of people have been saying that they're rooting for me because the haters would be in shambles, and so
the hater, dude. Yes,
they really would be.
They really would be. Yeah, that's true.
All right, guys, that's what we got. Merry Christmas to everyone. Have a happy holiday. Spend time with your family. Find a way to get off your screen time for a little bit. I know it's hard with football every day of the week. Pretty effing sick.
There's 5 NBA games tomorrow, 2 NFL games. It's gonna be tough.
Football Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Friday. I think we get off. I'm not a basketball guy. I'm not. Is a big college playoff thing happening this weekend too?
That I have no idea, to be honest.
Real quick before we get out of here, rookies next year. I just want to get a pulse check for you. Top 5 rookies drafted in Best Ball Mania next year.
Ashton
obviously won.
Tet McMillan.
Yep.
Tyler Warren.
He's a tight end.
There's a tight end. Probably Shadur because he'll be the one who is starting for sure. Maybe Cam.
But he's not like a rushing guy, right? Like he's like
Cam Ward is Cam Ward. So maybe Cam Ward, and then honestly,
the dual threat guy though.
Cam Ward is more of a dual threat guy.
No. The Heisman winner. What's his face?
Travis. No, he's gonna be probably a cornerback.
Yeah, but he's gonna be like.
Whatever his ADP is,
like a 12th round pick, but like
no, he should be like an 18th round pick. But the big board, he's gonna be like a 5th round pick in the big board.
I mean, just such a wide range for him where it's like I see him getting 5 to 10 offensive snaps a game. I think here's the ideal world for him. He gets drafted to a bad team, which when the team is winning or close, he plays corner. And when the team is down 15, he plays wide receiver. I think
it's just too hard to know both systems well enough. It's just too hard to be a really good, knowledgeable NFL corner and I think best case scenario.
If Dion could play baseball and do that, dude, in like the same day,
baseball is not a man's game. I'll tell you what. Best case scenario, he's like Cavante Turpin. Just every time he's on the field, he gets the ball, basically.
Do you think let's pull up do you think the Patriots take the Tet McMillan guy?
I think they probably sign T. Higgins. Maybe they do both, Tet and T, but I don't know. I hope Kansas City takes a tight end. I hope they take Loveland or Tyler Warren.
I mean, the Giants need a quarterback, but is there a quarterback worth taking 101?
Yeah,
Davis, can you share your screen for the Can you share your screen for the NFL draft order? Because my computer did not like that.
Sure didn't.
My laptop. I'll get a new laptop, guys, if I win Best Ball Mania. Here we go. So is there a quarterback worth taking for the Giants?
I mean, Cam Ward is not bad.
Huge loss
I
for the
probably
Patriots,
wouldn't.
by the way. Huge loss for them to lose that game to Buffalo. But I think they'll go Tet McMillan, right?
It's just, I don't know. It's really hard to say.
This is my friend from college who I did not know he was my friend for a long time. I'm like, how does this guy know I wear Crocs? Shout out Noah.
Hey, Crocs are cool now, man.
I've been wearing them since I was like 10, though. What do the Jags do? What did the Jags do in the draft? They might take
I was gonna say they feel like the Travis Hunter team to me.
Titans quarterback ?
No, Titans are gonna pay
Cousins.
No, Darnold. They're the most likely Darnold team for me.
Really? I don't know if Darnold's gonna do that to himself. It feels like the Titans or Browns or Raiders, like one of those teams is going quarterback. I think the Panthers almost certainly do not go quarterback anymore.
No chance.
Jets, they need quarterback as well, dude. Like Rodgers doesn't play next year, does he?
I don't know, man. He feels like he loves the spotlight too much.
Isn't it crazy? The Bears have lost 9 straight. They were 4-2.
They were 4-2. We were like, dude, they're going to win the division.
Yeah, they're going to go to the playoffs. No, I mean, if Caleb and the Bears turn around next year, arguably an ideal season where they get another top 10 pick, they, get a better coach. I mean, if I'm Ben Johnson, dude, I'm pretty tempted by May, right?
I don't know if Mayo's going to get fired, brother.
I don't know either. It would be a little dysfunctional, but I am tempted by that. Saints feel disastrous to me. Like they still have that cap problem. And
Saints are a mega disaster. Yeah, they're not taking a quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, Niners seem like super likely to take Ginty to me.
Oh, I think the Vikings. If I had to pick a team right now, I think
what do you mean the Vikings? The Vikings are going to be like in the 20s. He's not going that far.
I think he could be in the 20s.
No, he's going top 15.
Well,
Bijan did, right? Bijan went 10 or something, 9.
Arizona could be a Ginty team. Dallas could be a Ginty team.
They just gave Connor a contract and drafted Trey Benson, so that would be weird.
Their team that's just so much about running the ball, and Connor is going to be 29.
Honestly,
you're probably right.
No one wants it, but the Bengals do. Like, I could see the Bengals convincing themselves on Ginty, where they're like, we're never going to be in position to get this guy. We get this guy. We have Chase. We have Burrow. We have Chase Brown too. Like they should just roll with Chase Brown.
But then your wide receivers are Andre Oshivas, Jermaine Burton, Trenton Irwin, and Jamar.
No,
Chase.
you keep Higgins.
They also cost themselves like a
so much money,
a full starter by not paying Chase. Yeah, I guess they could, but it would be like basically a disaster, like the biggest possible roster building disaster because they already have a running back. It's not even like they have a bad running back. It's not like they watch Zach Moss play all year.
You know who's going to take Ginty now that I look at it?
The Cowboys.
The Raiders.
No, the Cowboys. The Raiders are going to take Shadur.
What if he's gone?
Cleveland's not going to take a quarterback. I don't think Tennessee will. Jacksonville won't.
Why would Cleveland not take a quarterback? They need one.
They owe $60 million per year for 3 more years.
So do they just forfeit for 2 years? I mean, Deshaun's over, right? Like, come on.
I think they do basically just for,
Honestly, the Bears make some sense for Gene T too. Like, they really do.
they have too many holes. Their offensive line is so bad.
It's really just their O-line. But yeah.
There's always a tackle who get like the ninth pick in the draft might as well just be the tackle pick. You know what I'm saying? Like 9,
Yeah.
10, 11 is always an offensive lineman.
The Jets make no sense for Gene T, but they are the Jets. Brutal, man. The Jets were like Super Bowl odds, I think, were better than the Bills.
Yeah, no one could have predicted this. No one could have
Some
possibly
weird stuff.
predicted this. There's
But
no way
let's
to
pair
know.
Bijan and Gene T, dude. Let's do it.
Let's do it. That would actually be the funniest pick. Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Happy holidays. Don't know when Davis next Wednesday is New Year's. So you and I will have to discuss about when we're doing a show next week. Maybe we do it later in the week, like the 2nd or something. Or I don't know.
You're probably what if you win? You're gonna want to do it on Tuesday.
We're running through the streets, brother. I'll be there in St. Louis with you.
All right.
All right, guys. Peace out. Like, subscribe. Appreciate you all.
Adios.